The Nathan and Steve Show, let's have a good time. You have never seen a show like you're about to see today, folks. This is gonna get crazy.
Who else is gonna tell you about the games? About the news that's news about the games?
Are you gonna listen to some boring other goobers? Why not trust these two YouTubers?
So we're having lots of fun. It's a good time talking about games.
The Nathan and Steve Show. 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 We'll tell you the games are straight up fire and about some devs that are freaking liars.
So we learned our lesson about talking bad about Borderlands.
We sure did. It's the Nathan and Steve Show. Let's have a good time. No copyright music like Shania Twain, but we sure do talk about video games.
And we also like all kinds of things, so you might hear us say whatever's on our brains.
The Nathan and Steve Show. 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 Lots of games you need to play.
So we'll have a lot of freaking fun today.
With the nipple laser ray.
That's what they say. The Nathan and Steve Show, brought to you by the Nathan Napalm Channel and our partners at Cringe Pony Television Network.
Thank you to the members on YouTube and the subs on Twitch. Thank you all for joining the Nathan Napalm Nation. You help keep the lights on so I can keep streaming and pumping out content. I want to also thank the highest tier members for their epic support. Bounty Code, Jared Woodhouse, Daimlos, Farthest Reach, Sparrow, Random Rob, Galarain Moonsong, What's the Takeaway, Bad Wolf Gaming, Robert Taneka, Pip Pop, My Boot in Your Ass, The Crinkle Boy, Scruffy Bard, Aaron Owen, and Steven's Magic Castle. Thank you for your highest tier membership.
What's up, everybody? We are live with the Nathan and Steve Show. We're going to be talking about some nerd news, some RPGs and stuff. What's up, Wild Relic?
What's up?
With our guest, Conan O'Brien. Yeah, we'll bring him on towards the end of the show, so you have to hang on. You have to hang tight for that. All right, well, I'm Nathan. I'm back. Been pretty busy past couple of weeks with the new job. But I'm back home. Training is over, so I'm back in the beautiful state of MILF Mountain. I mean, Wisconsin. And I'm joined today by, of course, co-host, the Steve.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a while. We're finally back. Something I wanted to say real quick before we really get going here, since we haven't done the show in a while. I did just want to say real quick that I played all the way through Dragon's Dogma 2. That game is awesome.
Oh, you
that
beat
game
it?
Was a blast. Yeah, and I will say this without spoiling anything. There's a certain thing that you do in the end credits that will lead you to like the secret ending, and there's like a whole other part of the game you play through, and
What?
I won't say what happens, but it's really freaking cool. And the only other thing I want to say about this game is the story's really cut and dry. This isn't really like a game you play for like an epic storyline. This game's like all about the exploration and the adventure, and I thought it was a lot of fun.
Yeah. And
well, this is a slight spoiler. Spoiler, but when I'm saying that there's something crazy that happens at the end that you can you can miss it and not do it and just get the normal credit roll. But during the end credits, you can do this one thing, and let me just put it like this. We're talking about like a Final Fantasy VI type situation happens, and it is really cool.
Really?
But that's all I'll say, yeah. It's I had a blast with it. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would.
I'm still working my way through it. I've gotten a little distracted because some games came out during this period of time. But that's a game that I'm definitely going to be playing probably a lot of. I did also decide to go ahead and buy Baldur's Gate 3 for the PS5 as well. Just to experience that game again in a little bit of a different way. Pretty cool on the PS5 so far. They did a really good port of that game. But we're here. A lot of stuff has happened. We've not had the show in about a month, so we got a lot to talk about. And might be a little chaotic because we got some stories lined up, but also I'm sure we'll think of things along the way that we want to talk about. And yeah, I'm back, baby. I'm back, Mr. C. What's up, Gibo? What's up, Paticus? Glad to see you're back. Thank you, man. Glad to be back. So let's see. What do we got in the bank here? First of all, of course, a game that me and Steve have been looking forward to did just release. We just got Eiyuden Chronicles, just launched last week, I believe, last Tuesday, I think. I just started getting to play it on Friday. And Steve, you're still holding out on it for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, because I just closed on a house today, so I've got a lot of work over the next couple of weeks I got to do with like the moving and doing all this other stuff I got to do. Plus, work is an issue. So I'm pretty much like not going to be able to play anything until I get all settled into my new place. But I am definitely going to get this game 100% for sure. I'll just be playing it a little bit later.
Are you streaming from the new house now?
No, I'm still at the old. So I have.
Okay.
See, so how it worked out for me, because everybody watching wants to know this, but how it worked out for me is like I had a couple months left on my lease at my apartment, and there was no way to get out of it unless like the rules were if you broke the lease, then you had to pay 3 months of rent. But I only had 3 months left on my lease anyway, so I pretty much just have this place and the new place until the end of July. So I have
so you have
on the bright side, I have a lot of time to get a lot done. Yeah.
Right. You basically you got a studio for 3 months, it sounds like.
Yeah, for 3 months I have a studio. Eventually, probably here in a week or so, I will be moving all this stuff over there, and then I would be streaming from the new place.
Cool. Well, Gula Gula has redeemed he wants to be taking the city. Nobody's been to the city in a while, so we better... I know they've been missing it. Let's go to the city real quick, and then we'll jump into Eiyuden Chronicles.
We're going to the city.
We're going to the city, baby. Here we go.
I'm a dog with the bone, I'm saying rough. Let me give it to you, baby, it will never be enough. Let me put my lips up to your ear, let me tell you something, dear. First I'm gonna, then I'm gonna, then I'm gonna grab you by your, then I'm gonna.
All right, we're back from the city. Nerd alert. Steve, your chair is phasing in and out of reality. That actually is because that's part of the lease agreement that he's in right now, is that like his furniture only partially exists in the apartment now. Partially exists in his new house.
Eventually it'll be completely phased out.
Yeah, well, that's how he's moving. It's a new technology where his actual things like slowly phase into the new house.
I wish that was real.
So, like, sometimes his chair will exist, and as we go through these 3 weeks, it will exist lesser and lesser in his apartment that he's in right now. So you guys, if you're lucky, we may catch you actually live when the chair actually phases out of existence of the apartment.
You'll know because I'll just fall into the floor.
It's a really cool new technology for moving. It's really exciting stuff. Cutting edge. Let's look at this though. Eiyuden Chronicles. Now, instead of just doing a review for this game, I wanted to watch. I wanted us to watch this 36 reasons why you need to play Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes. You ready, Steve?
I'm ready.
All right, let me get it pulled up here.
Eiyuden Chronicles is finally here.
Let me pause it. Okay, he started right off the bat. All right, let me full screen it here. Let me know when you're ready, and we'll hit play.
Ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Eiyuden Chronicles is finally here, and if you haven't kept up on the hype, you need to play this game, and I'm going to give you a bunch of reasons why. Now, full disclosure,
reasons.
I did publicly back this Kickstarter back in 2020. Back when I did that, they also said that they would let me design an in-game item, but that never happened.
Oh, those liars!
So maybe someday. But also, full disclosure, this video is sponsored by Eiyuden Chronicles, and it's available right now. It's available on Steam, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. And huge special thanks to 505 Games and Eiyuden Chronicles for sponsoring this video. Here's every reason why you need to play it. Number one,
he's a lot like us,
this
old
game
school
looks
RPG fan.
amazing. It's a perfect
Man, that
blend
looks so
of
cool.
pixel
It does
graphics
look really
and
good.
fully
Pause it real
3D
quick. Pause it real quick.
environments. I want to.
Okay.
Did you guys see that blur effect when the bird was flying right there? That is my only complaint so far with this game, is a little bit too heavy with the blur. So like it almost, like, I can get over it. This is a very minor complaint, but
Yeah.
I just wish I could see everything. I don't need the I'm not a big fan of blurring. It's just
Why
not.
are developers seem to get so obsessed with blurring stuff nowadays?
I don't know. Like, it happens kind of a lot in this game. Like, you'll be running through a town that's all rendered in 3D, but like stuff further away will be blurred for like no reason.
Weird.
Now, I've seen a couple of parts in the game where I was like, oh, well, they didn't want you to see that until you got closer. So there's some parts where it makes sense, but there's other times where it's like completely not necessary. I doubt in this particular video he's going to talk about it, but it did bother me quite a bit.
Remember the Link's Awakening remake where the edges of the screen were like blurry the whole time?
Oh, dude, that drove me nuts. That drove me absolutely
why?
nuts. I'm pretty sure they came out and said that they did that in that game to help with frame rate. It's like, dude, I would rather have a lower frame rate, to be honest. Graham has been a member for 19 months. Thank you, Graham, for the epic support, brother. President of the Steven fan club for 19 months. All right, Patica says he likes Pro Jared too. He got in some trouble a while back, a little controversy. I think that was what I like to call not real itis. I don't think any of that stuff that he was accused of was real. He even had the receipts to prove he didn't do it. So I like Pro Jared. All right, let's start back on the video. 3, 2, 1, go.
Emphasize the highly detailed, very well animated character sprites that look fantastic.
Sprites do look really good.
Everything is so vibrant.
That is sweet looking, dude. I can't
Every
wait to
single
actually sit
screen
down to
you end
this.
up on just pops. The way the camera pushes in or pulls out or rotates as you're moving around. You'll never get bored of looking
Thank you
at
for
it.
the super chat, Graham.
The combat
These
camera
past 2
keeps
weeks
you
have been
engaged with
boring.
dynamic movement too.
I'm
I
back
love
now,
the way
baby.
it moves in and out with melee attacks or flips around when special moves are going off.
Like,
It really
dude,
keeps
any
your
game that
attention
has
by
egg
maintaining
monsters,
the
I'm in.
energy of
Yeah.
battle through the
Early
movement
game
of the
monster,
camera
the egg people.
following your party
There's quite a
members
few
into
really
attack.
bizarre ones.
Most importantly,
Thanks for the
this is
super chat,
classic
Graham. Appreciate you,
turn-based
brother.
JRPG combat at its finest.
It really
Pick
is
your
good
attacks,
turn-based.
Any special attacks, magic,
And it's
or
not like
whatever,
it's not
and
like a
then
bunch
watch
of
it all
fluff.
play
It's
out.
just good
If you've
old-fashioned
been missing
good
the style of
turn-based
turn-based
combat.
games of the late
Suikoden
90s,
style.
This is
Yeah.
exactly the kind
I
of
mean, it
game
looks
you're
like
looking
it, you
for.
know?
6
But
people.
thankfully, battles don't take forever. Along with that dynamic movement, characters don't wait for each other to finish before they take their own action.
Oh, that's true,
If
yeah.
multiple of them in a row are ready to attack, you'll see them hop forward and slash in a staggered order. It's enough to keep things snappy, but not so fast that you can't keep up with everything that resolved. It's perfect. Rune skills let you really pop off some damage when you need it. Every basic attack gets you a skill
The rune
point
skills
in
also let you
that will
customize.
be used for some special attacks.
Which things?
These are bigger
The
and
little-
Those
flashier,
monsters,
sometimes
they're
with
so
extra
sad.
properties
Little sad
like
turnip,
higher crit rate
hairy
or
turnips.
piercing through defense.
Hairy
These
turnips.
skills make sure your warriors have more to do than just basic attacking and help give your mages some reward for getting in there. Number 6, hero team-up attacks. You can combine
Oh, yeah, these are
attacks.
cool.
Having certain party members together lets you do hero team-up attacks. These do a ton of extra damage or other benefits, plus they just look awesome. It also incentivizes you to try
That's
different party combinations to discover all the team-ups.
You can tell that thing brushes its teeth regularly.
Yeah, dude. And goes to the dentist at least once a year.
At the
Man,
screen is the
at
current
least.
order in which everything will play out for the turn. Depending on your action choices, this can affect turn order. Things like defending or getting heal spells off matter more if you can make sure you
Yeah.
can cast it before they're
This game does a
attacked
good
and
job
die,
of you, like,
and that
learning
turn order matters.
your turn
This adds
order,
in several layers
like he was
of
talking
strategy.
about,
It can be
and,
the
like,
difference between a close
balance it out in the
victory or a
strategy
total
a
party
lot.
wipe. Number 8 is the music. I love the
Don't worry,
music
Grando,
in
we're
this
gonna talk about
game.
Stellar
Composers
Blade.
are doing
I
an
have played
amazing
that.
job with a very
The music is really good.
sound.
And the music-
I cannot get sick of the battle
It
theme,
feels
all of
it
the
feels
town
Suikoden,
themes, and the
for
overworld
sure.
theme. Seriously, the music is perfectly set into that
Which is what I
modernized
want, you know? So,
classic
like, I'm
soundtrack.
this is basically a
Speaking
new
of the overworld,
Suikoden.
we have
It's
so
really
It
what
really
is.
is,
when it
dude.
comes to
I'm so
100%.
excited about that.
There are sizable towns to go through and talk to everyone, but
What's
you'll
that
also
music
have
it's
plenty
playing,
of
dude?
opportunities to just go into dangerous forests or mountain areas or whatever. This can be
I love that
important
world
for
map.
finding
That's
some
Dude, the world map
resources
looks
you need or
so good
powerful
on your
hidden
screen,
items.
dude. It looks
gives
so
a lot
good.
of flexibility for side quests with wide open overworlds that ensure you are never railroaded on where to go next. There are so many towns. Some could feel optional because of just how many there are.
Awesome.
You never know who or what you'll run into at these. It's also a good way to find shops with different or better equipment that you need. These are all absolutely worth exploring for many connected reasons. Number 11.
And all the people
cute
you can talk
animals.
to.
There are so many cats and dogs everywhere.
It's funny that this is a reason to play.
Recruiting new
There is a
people
ton.
to
There's
your
also an
squad.
achievement
There are
for
several moments
talking
where
about
the
I like
game
that,
will
though.
just tell you.
I like
"We
when
need
there's
more people
animals
to join
walking
us."
around.
This means traveling the land to find new recruits. Many of these new characters will be party members that can join you in battle. Other ones will be able to help you out in other ways, like
Oh,
maintaining
Martha.
farms or shops.
Old
A
chatterbox.
lot of these characters
Dude,
are
Martha's
also
a good one.
optional, which means keeping an eye out for
I
them
like
while
him
you're
too, the
exploring around
Kuroda.
freely, just in case
That's cool.
someone wants to join up. They'll
He's in my
also
main
often
party
give
right
you
now.
little side quests to complete in order for them to join you. And there are
Yeah.
tons of characters to join you.
Yeah,
you have a
dude.
party size of 6. You need people to fill out those roles. You'll be able to find dozens of them.
Dude, it'll be hard
We're
to
not
decide
talking
which
more
ones
than
to bring
20
sometimes.
characters. We're not talking more
Yeah, I
than
bet.
30 characters. You can find up to 120 characters to join you,
120, dude.
either as a playable party
I love
member,
it. There's like so
support,
many different
or
kind
a
of
shop
races and
attendant.
stuff.
The
That's
harder part
sweet.
is picking out your
Yeah, and it
favorites.
plays into the
Every
story
step of
really
the way,
well,
your
too.
party is completely customizable. You'll have your handful of main characters, sure, but you'll also be able to add in.
You see it's
whoever
got
you
front
want.
and rear,
If you
just
want to have
like,
an all
Yeah.
team who just beats face.
I wonder if there's any
you
like
absolutely can.
animal
I
or
like having
monster
some kind of
party
ranger
members
in the
like in
back row so you
Suikoden
can shoot
too.
There
back
is.
row targets safely.
That's
I
cool.
also need to make
Oh,
sure
look
I
at
have
that little
some kind
tree
of
guy
magic
down
user to
there,
flash
actually.
Yeah,
over the team when I need
Calathor.
it, and also heal often. With so many characters, it's easy to feel overwhelmed with keeping them all up to speed and strong enough for the current mission.
I know Dave's
Don't
really
worry,
liking the
Eiyuden
game.
Chronicles has thought of this. When you use
Yeah,
a
I
party
knew- as
member who
soon
is
as I was, like,
lower
1 hour deep, I
level
was
than
like,
the rest of
Dave's
the
gonna
team,
freaking
they
love
get
this
a
game.
huge
What's
boosted
up,
amount of
BQOA?
experience points,
Welcome, my friend.
allowing them to quickly and easily catch up to the rest. It never takes much effort for an even, ready team. And with all of these characters,
Look at
every
Kangaroo
single
guy.
one of them is voiced. The voice acting in this game is superb.
Okay,
They
can we
all have
pause it real
strong
quick?
Personalities.
Yep.
I'm going to disagree with him here. I don't think the voice acting is. It's like voice acting used to be. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's not really that it's good. It's just there's a lot. It's impressive how much there is. How many different voice actors they got, you know, when you compared to like a game like Elder Scrolls where they had like 10 voice actors, they just try to change their voice, you know?
Yeah.
Like, there's just so many of them that it's impressive. But I think the actual voice acting isn't actually good, but it's good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe like PS3 JRPG era voice acting.
Yeah, like early PS3, maybe late PS2 era voice acting.
Maybe like a PS3 Tales game.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah.
I
Perfect.
can deal with that. I'm fine with that.
It's like good enough, but sometimes you can tell the voice actor. I've actually heard the voice actors like say the line that isn't actually what it said on the screen a little bit. But man, there's just so much that you kind of. I mean, who cares? It's very minor. All right, let's
Yeah.
continue. 3, 2, 1, go.
Their own way of speaking and mannerisms, and some of the more serious moments hit harder thanks to stellar performances.
Some
it's
of 'em-
easy for games
Okay,
of this
sometimes
size
the
to
voice
resort
acting's
to
really good,
bland
though.
or boring voiceovers, but not the case here. They're all great. When making your party, where they stand matters. You have
Yeah.
a front row and a back row. Most melee attackers can't target people in the back row and are more likely to be attacked, making them ideal for the front of the battle line. You can use the back row for people with ranged attacks like archers and healers.
Oh, that samurai
This
they
also
showed
makes
looked
people
cool.
who can attack back
Yeah.
row enemies a little more valuable because sometimes you need to take
Look
out
how
their
well
supports before
animated
the
all the
main
sprites are.
enemy.
That's what
you know,
keeps
sometimes when
rocking
you play
my world in
RPGs,
this
they
game.
do
Yeah,
that
it looks
thing
so
where they
sweet,
say,
dude.
the following person must be in your party because story reasons. Well, Eiyuden Chronicles does this too, but they don't need to affect your battle party. They have what they call attendance slots for your party. These are party members
Yeah, that's
who
a
are
good
with you
idea.
to participate in
Like,
conversations
this is
and
what my
cutscenes,
brain
but
was
will not
thinking
be
when
fighting in
Suikoden 3 was
battles.
announced.
So when you need to go
Yeah,
somewhere,
That's what
this is
and
what I
three
wanted Suikoden
characters
3 to
must
be.
go with you.
I
But you
agree.
really want to use the team you already had? No worries. Just stick them into the attendance slots. You can have your favorite
up, Crinkle?
party
Welcome,
and
man.
the story important people with you all at the same time. In addition to that, some party members also have support abilities. This is another additional party slot for characters that can give
that
passive
Calathor, what the
bonuses
heck?
to
It's
your
hilarious.
team. Some examples of this would be like extra item drops, collecting more lumber from wood spots, or letting you swap out team members out on the field at save points. These are so cool and give even more ways of customizing your team how you want,
Well, they got some
or
dead party
depending on what
members.
the situation calls for. So you got people in the front row and the back row, so do your enemies, and you want to hit several of them. A lot of special attacks and magic spells can target multiple enemies, often piercing through the front row and also hitting the back target. You can also have attacks that hits everyone in a full row. It's more to think about when it comes to selecting your attacks for the turn, but also where you're putting your party members in any given fight. You get your own castle! You even get to name it and everything, and will be your main base of operations. You gotta have somewhere for those 100-some characters to hang out at, and that castle can be upgraded.
Good old classic Suicode and
You'll
stuff,
slowly
man.
build your forces, but also spruce up the place.
Dude, I cannot
You'll get
wait.
different decorations,
This is-
but also
I just
usable.
got
Like, I
to
could go ahead
this.
and buy the game right now. I just
Your
know
own
I couldn't
farming
give it the
area,
time that it
resource
deserves.
farms.
Yeah, you might as well
Hold
buy it. Yeah, you might as
These
well
new
buy
parts
it
of
when
the
you can
castle
play, because
can
it's
be
going to drive you
upgraded
crazy if it's just
further,
sitting there.
giving you plenty of
Yeah.
things to put your war funds into. All the more
I'm also
reason
afraid
you
that if
need
I
to
buy it and sit
explore
on it for like
and
2 or 3
characters to
weeks, then
help
I'll, for
maintain
some
your
weird reason,
stronghold
not play
and to
it.
look for the precious
Yeah.
resource gathering points.
Which
Want
would
to
be stupid,
further
but it
customize
might
your
happen.
party
I know
member?
what you mean, though.
Yes,
That
they
happens
can.
to me.
They all have rune slots. These are special skill slots that can be swapped around
Yeah.
freely.
These
This means being
runes,
able
man,
to
you can
change out or
really
give additional
decide,
special attacks,
like-
giving someone magic
you can,
that
like-
they didn't have before.
Yeah, like
or
he's saying, you
changing
can,
out
like,
an element
really
entirely.
customize
There's
your
also
characters
passive
quite a
ones
bit
that do
with
things
that.
like extra strength or hit points. You unlock more rune slots as the character levels up, and you can then truly see their potential. It also means hunting down every single treasure chest you see, because you never know if there's an all-new rare rune in there for you to use. The encounter rate is low
Yeah,
everywhere. Yeah,
it is
there's
a low
random
encounter rate.
battles, but they happen infrequently, which is great because of how much exploration there is. Whether it's going from place to place in the overworld, looking for characters,
That
or
looks
deep
so
within a
cool in that
dungeon,
mine.
trying to make sure you find every single chest that you spotted. I'm very thankful that it feels like
Do you see the blur effect I'm talking about?
when I'm in a dungeon,
Yeah.
instead of being interrupted every 5
I'm hoping
steps.
they
if I get into
patch
a
to
battle
where you can turn
I
that
really
off.
don't want to do, it's no problem. Auto battle
Yeah, that
is
would be
available
cool.
right from the start and does a very good job of quickly getting you through
And you can
encounters.
customize how
it's
auto battle
Even
works,
better, you
too, I
can
want to
set
mention.
everyone's
Oh, there you
auto
go. So
battle
you're talking about.
parameters to help make sure they aren't blasting off magic points more than you'd
It's
like,
funny
or
with the blur
wasting
stuff
skill
because-
points or whatever. Don't be afraid to use this and experiment with it. The game is smart
Half the time
about
when a
it.
game comes
But you
out,
cannot auto battle
the first
boss.
patch provides
These
an
are
option to
tough
turn it off.
fights
I know,
against
just
some
add it
awesome
in.
Why,
enemies.
you
These
know,
will
like, why do you
require
even
a lot of
it's
thought
crazy.
every single turn. None of them are pushovers or fall
Yeah, boss
into
fights
simple
are
weaknesses like
hardcore.
fire damage or whatever. Every boss fight
There's
I've
that
done
tooth
so
monster.
far, I felt like I barely managed to
Got a good
scrape
dentist.
by. Really putting
He
my
does,
planning
man. He's
and
better
RPG
teeth than
skill
me.
sets to the test.
Yeah, me too.
And if
That's
that
really
wasn't
nice.
It's a
enough,
freaking
many
monster.
boss fights
It's a
also
plant,
have
even.
gimmicks. These are additional
It just ain't right.
context-sensitive actions that
not
your
fair.
party members can do. If you see the boss charging up a
Oh, those
powerful
gimmicks are
attack,
really cool,
you may
dude.
need to
It's like
spend
the
your
classic
turn hiding
JRPG
behind
thing
some
where,
cover
like,
instead of attacking. If
you know,
your enemy
there's
is using
like a
crane to drop
additional
boulders on your head, make sure you're using a slower party
mechanic.
member to hit the lever back onto them
Yeah.
to make sure that they take the damage. These happen just often enough that you'll
And
never have
by
to
the
worry
way,
about
everything
boss
he's showing,
encounters
like,
just
is in the
being
first
a
couple
tank and
hours.
spank fight.
So-
Reason number 28. You can go fishing. Hell yeah, brother.
I still can't go
There's
fishing yet. I
puzzle
haven't found
solving
the
outside
fishing
of
pole.
battles too. Lots of classic switch hitting, lever pulling, and alternate pathways from RPGs of the past. Moving minecarts around, bashing open walls.
Dude, some of
and
these
the like
puzzles are
all
brutal,
here.
dude.
And thanks to the low encounter rate that I mentioned earlier, it's never a chore to get through these. One of the things I really appreciate is how classic the side quests are. When you go into a town, you have to speak with people and remember what they want. You'll need to take notes and write down what people ask for, like with an actual
Yeah,
pen
dude.
and paper.
It doesn't,
there
like-
are no quest markers, no exclamation points
he's going
above
over it.
every
I'm gonna have a little journal
This is
going with this
truly
game, I
It'd be a
guess.
good idea.
gameplay and a classic way of doing side quests. This all fuels that exploration, that discovery, and rewards those tenacious enough to do it
Ooh,
right.
those hogs were
The
looking
trade
good.
posts are a great way to make money. Look, we all get tired of the battle grind just to earn cash, especially since there are so many people you need to equip in your stronghold. Thankfully, a faster and more efficient way to do that is the trading posts. Purchase a bunch of goods at one place at a cheaper price, then run it over to another town's trade post, and then sell them higher for
That was in
profits.
Suikoden
It's
too,
really,
wasn't it?
really
Where you
easy
could like
to
do the
feel
trading posts
broke
to make
all
money.
the time with the constant equipment buying and weapon upgrading, so use the trade posts. It's a really good way to get a bunch of money.
Pretty sure that was
With
in
this
the
army that you're
old
raising,
Suikoden.
you will be going to war with
Oh,
them.
these war battles
there
are sweet.
Massive war battles.
Oh,
that
yeah, I
occur
didn't even
throughout
think
the
about
game.
this. Of course
You'll
it's
be
gonna
moving
have
units
this.
around the
They're fun,
battlefield,
dude.
and all the important characters.
I always
you've
loved
included
them in the
can also
old
be
game.
your
Look how
officers.
cool
They will
already
have
that
their
looks.
own
Oh,
I
man.
know.
special war
It is- yeah,
elements
like
for
it'll zoom
different
in, you'll
buffs
see
or
all the
attacks,
pixels.
and some
There'll
specialize
be like
against different
hundreds of
units in
pixels
another
on the
way.
screen
This is
sometimes
another
fighting each other.
Huge strategy
That
layer
is so
with
cool,
lots
man.
to discover. On the opposite end of the spectrum,
Ooh, one
you
versus
also
one
have
duels, baby.
one-on-one
Oh, yeah,
duels.
just like in
Two
Suikoden.
characters
Yeah. I
face
forgot
off,
about
and you
that
need to
aspect of the
carefully
game,
select
honestly.
your actions.
It's-
all-out attacks.
From
or
my
defensive
memory, it's dead
counterattacks.
on, the way
Fill your meter enough,
Suikoden
and you
did
can
it.
unleash a stronger
Yeah, it looks
special
like it.
move. But you also have to keep your own hit points in mind with each of these. It's awesome to watch these play out and are very, very intense. Altogether, the best thing about Eiyuden Chronicles is that it really does feel like a PlayStation 1 era JRPG made for the
Nice.
modern day.
It
The
does feel like
graphics,
that for
the
sure.
music, the gameplay,
Which is
it's all the
awesome,
kind of
I
thing
think.
that
Yeah.
made me fall in love with RPGs
get rid of the blur.
originally
Get rid of the
decades
blur.
ago. If you miss
It's so
that kind of
strange.
feeling, that's exactly what this game is going for. From the very start, as promised,
There it is,
this
baby.
is absolutely a spiritual successor to the
Nice.
Suikoden franchise.
He says
Fans
it's
of
Suikoden.
1 or 2
He says
will find
Suikoden.
exactly more of what they love here in Eiyuden Chronicles. The gameplay is perfectly replicated, the music is new but so familiar, and I love the highly detailed pixel graphics for every character. The base building, recruiting, the minigames, stuff like the war battles or duels come straight out of Suikoden. Only it's all properly modernized without losing the essence
That
of
is
what
so
made it
sweet.
great originally. I've spoken highly about the Suikoden games of the past, and I am blown away at how they nailed it with Eiyuden Chronicles. I cannot recommend this game enough to anyone who loves Suikoden 1 or 2, and to anyone looking for a classic RPG experience like they had years ago. It's
Agreed.
very, very good, and I am very much looking forward to whatever comes next from Rabbit and Bear Studios. Which we already know is going to be a sequel to
Oh, I didn't
Eiyuden
know that.
Chronicles.
I didn't
I
either.
haven't even finished this game yet, and I am pumped for the next one. If this is just the foundation
announced
of
they're
everything
making
that
a
they are
sequel?
capable of,
That's
I
what
can't
he's
even
saying.
imagine what they'd be able to
what he's
accomplish
acting like.
with a sequel. They
I hope
deserve
so.
all the love and success they've gotten with Eiyuden Chronicles and that Kickstarter, because they have gone
That music's
above
getting
and
wild
beyond,
now.
fulfilling the promises.
Yeah, that
of
particular
what they
song
set
gets
out
really
to do.
wild, dude.
I'll say it again here. I can't recommend Eiyuden Chronicles enough. I've been loving my time with it, and I still have so much more of it to play. Once again, huge thank you to Eiyuden Chronicles and Rabbit and Bear Studios for sponsoring this video.
All right.
I am so
I'm
glad
gonna
I
go ahead,
backed
stop
their
it there.
Kickstarter from long ago.
Dude,
Wild.
couple of things I want to talk about also about this game is that, like, number one, did not see this coming, and that's that when you're in a town, there'll be people just coming and going, like random people. Like, they'll be going in shops, they'll be walking around, doing their own little thing. It just adds a lot to the town. It really feels like, in like a busier city will have more people. You know what I mean? And they're not like, it's like they're there just to make the city feel alive. You know what I mean? Like, there's tons of talk to characters in towns too that like give dialogue, but then there's
Yeah.
also a lot of people just like there to make the city feel alive. You know what I'm saying? And
Cool.
it's hard to, you'll know what I mean. You know how like when you'd be playing a Suikoden game and you'd be running through a town and you would just see a character that obviously looks so cool enough that you know that that's probably somebody you can recruit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
This game has a lot of that too, where you'll just be like la-di-da-da, and then you'll be like, oh my gosh, I think that's somebody I can recruit, and you go talk to them. Sometimes there'll be a quest you got to do to unlock them, etc., etc. Sometimes you've already done something that when you talk to them, you can go ahead and recruit them. This is a gem. This is a freaking gem. We don't get old school inspired JRPGs this good almost ever. And this is definitely one that just absolutely is everything an old school JRPG lover wants out of a game. It's so freaking good. I'm not beat it yet, but every single second I've played of it, I've loved it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna love this game. I can tell you that without even touching it yet.
Yeah, dude, this is one where you're gonna lose a lot of time. Like, you're gonna be like, oh my gosh, I gotta go to bed. One more thing.
Yeah.
Great game. Can't wait to play it some more and beat it. That's just a real gem. It's sad, though, that unfortunately that guy who made Suikoden and that Eiyuden Chronicle turns out to be his final game because he passed away. That sucks.
Man, that sucks.
That really sucks because, man. But what a good magnum opus to go out on. You know what I mean?
For sure.
All right, but we do have more games here. Let me catch up on chat. What are you guys talking about? Stellar Blade, we're definitely going to be talking about. We've got, Swan Song, true. Let's see. Oh, Cyber Nomad, Witcher says Stellar Blade is turning him into a physicist. Grendel Reaper says, what was censored in Eiyuden? Every game lately is censored? I don't know. Was there some censorship? I'm not aware of it. I'll
research it real quick.
Yeah, see if you can find what that's all about. I do know that there was a little bit of translation errors. I've seen a couple. They're nothing crazy, but like you might see like something spelled wrong every once in a while, or just small clerical errors in the text every once in a while, which apparently they're about to patch and fix, but it's nothing game breaking. If you play JRPGs since Super Nintendo, you've seen way worse.
I can't find anything about it being censored.
Maybe Grendel Reaper said that because we're talking about blurring. So there is like a background blur that happens in the game. I wish they would take it out. It's just like a special effect that they do, and I just could do without it. I'm not a big fan of blurring, backgrounds.
Oh my gosh. There is apparently a bunch of people upset saying that the game is too woke.
Too woke?
Yeah, but we live in a day and age where people just act like this about everything, regardless if it was or wasn't. You know what I mean? That's like, it's hard. You have to almost just see everything for yourself now, because there's always some group of people being really loud about something, and it may or may not actually be reality.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
And he, I think he wasn't saying that he had heard it was censored. I think he was just saying like a joke, like what did they censor?
Oh, yeah.
They censor everything. I haven't seen anything that makes me even think of woke yet. I'm about 10 hours maybe deep. I haven't seen anything that made me feel any kind of way. Like, the game is political, as in the fantasy world, not in the real world. It doesn't even translate. My brain hasn't once been like, oh my gosh, they're talking about Joe Biden here. You know what I mean? It doesn't translate into the real world. It's like like the Suikoden games were, where it's like there's political wars and trickery happening. You know what I mean? Not like political, like the real world political.
It's just so to the extreme now. It's like, I think a lot of people don't realize the difference between something that is like woke ideology being forced on you and something that's not, that may have themes that could be considered to be woke by some. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like, there's some people out there, it's like, because if a game has a female character, that automatically means it's woke, which is not true.
Right.
It really depends on what is happening within. It's like, for example, I don't consider Final Fantasy 16 to be woke, but because it had a gay character in it that I thought was handled in an excellent way, some people say that it's woke just because of that. You know what I mean?
I didn't even remember there was a gay character. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, remember the guy who's Bahamut?
Oh, right. Yeah. So okay, that was handled in a way where it was like, he is anyway. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it wasn't like trying to force an ideology on you.
I actually forgot. You know until you said that, and I was like, oh, right. And they weaved into the story in a good way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
a lot of people just for some reason can't understand the difference of
There is a difference between
actual woke ideology being being spoon-fed to you, and then just like it's okay that we can have a female character or a gay character or a non-white character, and it doesn't have to be in a woke way. You know what I mean? You can do it in a real way where they actually have real character development, not just pandering.
Yeah, it matters if it's done naturally or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Final Fantasy Tactics is another good example. Yeah. All right. Well, unfortunately. Next game, the artist who is responsible for Dragon Ball Z and freaking, the Dragon Ball Z, and lots of video games like Chrono Trigger, etc. His newest game, with his artwork anyway, Akira Toriyama has launched as well, Sandland. But unfortunately, he has also passed away. This
is a death episode, apparently.
Turns out that's why I put the thumbnail. If you noticed, it had a Lich King. That's why I did that. All right, but
before we get into this, I do think it's worth mentioning for anybody interested that I haven't got to see it yet with my own eyes. I did read this manga like 10 years ago, but it's just like a one shot. You know what I mean? It's not like a multiple volumes. It's just one book. That's all there is to it. But also alongside the launch of this game, an anime series of it launched too that tells the story. So I haven't checked that out.
Has it been translated yet?
I believe so. Yeah,
it's been.
I believe so. I think it's available to watch already. I'm just not sure where because I haven't looked it up yet because I've been so busy.
I might want to check that out. Well, let's watch. This is I like this guy a lot. It's another YouTuber I really like. The Happy Console Gamer. Let me know when you're ready, Steve. I'll get mine
ready.
Up. All right, let me bring it to the beginning. Turn this sound on. Let's full screen it. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
So welcome to my review for Sandland by Bandai Namco. And this is out for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X and S, and also for PC.
Oh yeah, we definitely do actually got to talk about Fallout at some point.
Oh yes.
Of the game. And I'll ask you guys, are you excited about Sandland? Are you going to pick this game up? Is it on your radar? Or are you saying,
I'm definitely going to pick it up.
What the heck is Sandland?
Yeah, I haven't yet, but I will.
A lot of people are saying that. A lot of my friends are like, what is Sandland? What is this about?
Oh, look, they're playing like a Game Boy.
Oh, let me play with it too.
Give me a second.
This is a game based on a manga, and the manga was by Akira Toriyama. Unfortunately, he just recently passed away. A big blow for all of us. He created Dragon Ball and Dr. Slump and a slew of other really cool mangas out there.
I loved it.
And
I
they've
love
taken
his art style, man.
from that manga and created a huge action RPG in an open sandbox style of game. No pun intended.
He's actually my favorite,
Now, before I begin, I also want to say
Japanese
there are
artist.
No spoilers in this review. I'm only going to show footage for the first 10 to 15 hours, but no later gameplay.
This looks cool to me.
It does look good.
As a fan of Toriyama.
Or some of the crazy upgrades.
Even just look at the detail on that tank.
Yeah, the texture work is freaking awesome, dude.
So let's start off with the story so we can get acquainted with this world. So the world of Sandland is a lot like Mad Max. It has a lot of those vibes to it, but it's a really interesting world where humans and demons coexist.
You've got guts showing your face around here.
And the story is about one demon who gets together with a couple of humans to go and find the legendary spring. Because in this world, water is the most important commodity.
Oh,
Here,
water.
Have some water.
And along the way, you get into confrontations with other humans, with the royal army, with just monsters in the middle of the desert. It's pretty wild.
Oh, that
cool.
That sand monster's freaking cool. That sandworm.
Good. Step on it.
So to do with gameplay, this is a huge thing to talk about. There's so much gameplay in this game. So you can be riding through the desert in your Jeep, and all of a sudden you're like, hey, wait a second, what's that over there? I see some monsters. You jump out, and you do hand-to-hand combat with these monsters, and you also have special moves that you can do there, and you kick the crap out of them, and you gain experience. And that's something that I really, really liked. I just liked driving around, jumping out, and going and exploring.
If they wouldn't have done experience, we would have just tried to drive around everything.
That hurt you.
Yeah.
And you can just wander into caves.
I'm glad. I like when there's experience.
Me too. That's something Zelda needs
to
do
exploration in
immediately.
This game.
I think so too.
Definitely come back to that. But not only that, you can level up your characters. You can pick more skills to level up. So there's a lot of customization just with your
This actually looks really freaking cool now that I'm seeing more of it.
Never mind where we'll go from there.
Nobody's allowed
I
to
was
be
afraid
more
that it
evil
would just
than
be cool
thieves.
because of
And there's
Toriyama's
encampments
work.
where you can set up
Me
camp, you can
too.
stay there
Otherwise be a
overnight. You can
not
also
that
buy
great
items
game.
from there, and you can replenish.
I trust
your
this
water.
guy. This guy liked it. Then
This looks
There's
cool,
also
man.
elements in the
I-
game that's
he's
very much
never
like
liked a
Metal
game
Gear,
that I didn't
where it's
like.
Stealth, where you're sneaking into a base and you don't want to be caught.
Oh, I hate
and so you're
stealth
going around
missions,
the
dude.
corners and you're going up
I do
ladders
too,
and
honestly.
spotting
Sucks
enemies.
so
You're
bad
like,
at 'em.
okay, I got to get past these guys. And that's one thing I want to say. I love all the varying degrees of gameplay in this game. It's not just like you're running around just fighting monsters all the time. There's so much variation on what you're doing.
Wait, what did he do to him just there?
And then the moment comes when you finally
sure.
really upgrade and
That
get
looked
your
like a
very
ball
own
punch.
tank.
Like he punched that guy
This is a
with his
tank.
balls. That's what it looked
How the
like.
heck do
Maybe
you
he
drive
did.
it?
And then this is when the game really opens up with what you can do. So before you're running around just doing hand-to-hand combat with the monsters.
It looks
you feel
cool out in the
pretty
desert
strong.
like that,
Most times you
man.
feel
Yeah, it
The
does.
lighting is cool looking.
Not with the tank. All of a
this
sudden
is
you have some
pretty
serious
neat.
firepower. You have your machine guns and you have your missiles. And boy,
And you
does
have
that
the
ever
old
change
man,
the
too.
gameplay. In fact, it actually reminds me
Yeah.
of Blaster Master at times when you're going up.
Oh,
cliffs and stuff,
Blaster
and you have to
Master.
jump out.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
I
Like
think
3D Blaster Master
Keep on
almost.
going.
That's
I
a
love
cool way to
going
look at it.
in and out of your tank, and that is used a lot.
Way to go!
Job, Prince. Now we can be on our way.
I love jumping in and out of the tank to accomplish certain missions. And that's the thing, there's so many things to do in the desert that you'll be wandering around in your tank, and all of a sudden you see some monsters picking on this one townsperson, and you're like, I'm gonna go save them.
Oh,
And
cool.
of course, you get rewards.
That's
for
cool.
that.
I like that.
I'll keep it. It might
Those
turn
are
out
those
to be
big
useful
booty
later.
chooty
And
raptors.
then you run into Anne, and you open up the garage, and this is where things, again, really open up, because at this point,
Customizing
you
your
can
tank.
upgrade all
It's
of
cool
your
'cause all these
vehicles, and
characters,
you can make brand new
they're in the-
vehicles
they're in the
as well.
manga.
So it's really great when you get your tank in there.
I wonder if it's
and
the
you're
exact
picking
same
the different
story, or
weapons
if they
you want,
mixed it
different
up a little
suspensions
bit.
you want. You can change the color on it.
I've
you can
heard
upgrade everything.
that it
And
is,
that the
and then
thing,
goes
that is the
beyond
limitations
that.
of this
And
game,
interestingly
the
enough,
customization with
the
everything
the
that-
manga
with the main
apparently
character,
goes
with all of your vehicles,
beyond,
it's
or the
really
the new
limitless
anime
with
goes.
what you can
There's the main
possibly
story, and
do.
then goes
And that's what
beyond it
makes
as
the game
well.
Really awesome. Running around, getting into combat with other tanks, destroying them, getting their pieces, bringing them back to your shop, and upgrading your own tank.
No
And
such
Akira
thing.
Toriyama worked
Jump.
on the anime
There's also
too.
bounties out there for
So
criminals.
it's technically
to take
the
down.
last anime
There's
he
also,
did.
I'm not going to show
Oh,
them
wow.
some really cool ones.
Or worked on. He didn't, like,
Notorious
really do
monsters,
the
if you
whole
wanna call
thing.
them that, where
Like
these
Dragon Ball
legendary
style back
monsters
in the
the middle
day.
of the desert that just come out at you.
I just realized
super
that guy's
high
wearing a
level,
Castle
and you gotta
Court
take them
shirt.
out.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing that I really recommend. Always upgrade
That
your
looked like a
vehicle.
jumping
Always,
teabag
always
move.
upgrade
It
Just
did.
keep on upgrading as much as you can.
The
and
jumping
go out
teabag.
and farm in the desert. Go around and go into those caves, go into those shrines, and find the treasure chests and upgrade your weapons. But it's also great when you get different vehicles and different robots and different
Oh,
machines.
different robots.
They will
Oh,
help
cool.
you navigate the desert in a completely different way.
Yeah, this looks cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna get this. Wow.
And I gotta say, overall,
A lot of good
the
games coming out
gameplay
lately, like,
feels
dang.
Very, very tight.
Yeah. I
Some
can't
of
keep
the
up right
vehicles
now.
It's about
are a
time.
little crazy, like the motorcycle when you're on that. That
Oh, that
is
looks
out of
cool.
control. At times you're like, oh my god, I'm going so fast through the desert. But with different suspensions and upgrading it, things really come together. But some of the vehicles take a little bit to get used to. That is for sure. But I really want to say that I love the tank controls. I feel really at home, and I really just love going around the desert, feeling strong, and absolutely annihilating monsters.
I love feeling strong.
Nice. One down.
Okay, I'm gonna get to a negative here
Uh-oh,
because I really,
negative.
really gotta say that I really like this game. One of my negatives is the music. The music is not bad. I want to say that it's not terrible music.
My throat is killing me. Water.
It's very, very atmospheric and it fits, but it never rises above the game. I was never like, oh my god, this music, or oh my. It kind of was always in the background, and I kind of think that's where it's supposed to be, realistically. Because when I'm going around, I'm thinking, okay, I want to take out these tanks. I want to get those monsters out of the way. I need to find new pieces to upgrade my other vehicles with. You're always thinking about that, and you're always going on to your next mission. And that's the thing. This is a completely open world game. It's massive in scope. The map size, all the different places you can go. There's a lot to do here. And I think the music just kind of encompasses that and gives you kind of a playing field in the background to enjoy. But I never really loved the music. I just thought it was fitting.
So, don't need to buy the soundtrack for this one.
That's the complaint, though. I mean,
the other thing that
ain't
kind of
bad.
on me a little bit is the dialogue going through the desert.
Well, I'm not excited.
No, when they do
As you're
that,
going from one section to the next, which you'll be doing a lot of,
they'll be saying the same
characters
things
just
sometimes.
repeat themselves with saying
It's a
the same
classic,
thing
though.
over and over and over.
That always
Yeah.
happens.
Get it already.
Dude, like those pawns and dragons Dogma too. I'm like,
Oh
okay,
my
okay,
God,
I get
yeah.
it.
I went in to
dude.
try to turn that off, and I couldn't find that option. Maybe I missed it.
No, sir. Not even a little.
But I do want to say one thing that I do find funny. Once in a while, just once in a while, the old man
Oh, sweet
sounds
old man.
like Bruce Campbell. At one time, I was like, is this Bruce Campbell's voice?
That's right. I'm a human. I come from a neighboring town. I'm Sheriff Rao.
It does sound like him.
Shop.
That's hilarious.
You got that?
That is
I'm here
hilarious.
today because I want to ask for you demons' help. Now, is one of your leaders willing to listen to what I have to say?
Maybe they'll get Bruce Campbell for the sequel.
Who's with me?
Sandland is going to be one of those games that I think is going to be a cult classic.
Oh,
and I
nice.
just want to say, for the record, I really love this game. I really love this game. This is a game of the year for me.
Wow.
I'm almost leaning that it could possibly be one of the games of the year, like the top, because I've really enjoyed it, and I gotta explain why. And you know, in the passing of Akira Toriyama, it really, like a lot of us, it really hit me hard. And all of the wonderful worlds he gave us, and this is another wonderful world he's given us. And I think Bandai Namco has done an outstanding job of taking that manga and the anime, which I've watched.
Oh,
by the way.
man,
I
the anime looks awesome.
But
I know, it
taking
looks
that
cool.
into game form
Oh, look,
and making it fun.
there's that
and
scene in the
really
game.
translating that, you know, the manga adaptation into a playable game. But it's beyond that. This game is massive. It's huge in scope. There's so much to explore. There's so much to do.
Take that.
The hours of gameplay cannot even be counted for all of the things that you can do in this game, and there is a lot. Yes, you can just do the main storyline, but you can upgrade the towns, you can upgrade your own room. I don't even want to show any of that.
Oh, cool.
There's a lot that
Wow.
you can do to upgrade everything and to continue on the adventures within Sandland.
I
And
like
it's
being able to
really
upgrade
fun
towns. That's
just to be
cool.
blasting
Yeah,
around the
very.
desert in a tank and seeing some monsters going, I'm going to take you out, or I'm going to help out that town.
Oh, look at the little weasel guy.
What's that mysterious
Wow.
like, cave over there? I want to go in there. And then you go into the cave, and it's absolutely
Oh, this is- I'm
massive.
100%
And takes you
buying
to
this
the
game
entire
now.
Dude, he's
other
selling
section of
this.
the game.
I mean,
Or
I
you
thought
get
I was
section
going
of the
to
game where
anyway,
it's
but
like,
that just
Sandra,
reassures
I can't
it.
get across this.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
need to
buy it
go
just to
and
play
get a
the
vehicle
Akira
to cross
Toriyama's
that.
last
There's
game
always
he
something
did the
to
art,
do,
but
and the
now-
gameplay is
Yeah,
really,
I got a feeling I'm gonna end up
strong
absolutely
and really,
loving
really
this. Look
fun.
how sweet
The
that
characters
looks,
and all
man.
that really come together. I haven't even talked about the graphics. I've
The
just been
characters
showing
look
them.
awesome.
The graphics and frame rate are fantastic in this game. They really, really are. And I've been fighting a lot of monsters on the screen at one time, and nothing really, is jarring for me and all that. As I say, I played on PS5, and it all was very flawless for me.
Dude, I hope you get an airship
But it's
in this
nice
game.
to jump back into an Akira
How cool would
Toriyama
that
be?
world
Sweet.
that's been handled with such love and such care. And yes, there's so many people going, what is Sandland? I know. I hope you have seen a little bit more what it's about in my review here, and it's piqued your interest a little bit.
Oh, yeah. I've learned my lesson.
I will say, if you're an Akira Toriyama fan, it's a must-play game. It's a must-play game. If you like open sandbox style of games, you'll really like this as well.
Yes, sir.
And it's also for people who just want to run around in a tank and just destroy things and get into mech battles and things like that. There's a lot of fun to be had here. There's so much to do that is astronomical. And
Yeah, this is
I'm
awesome
still
looking.
making my way through the game because there's so much to it and it's never ending. And I think that's a great thing for anybody who's jumping in going, I want a big world. You're going to get it and then some. And definitely put some time aside for this.
War, huh? That's some serious stuff. Ow!
Cool.
Ow.
This looks good.
It's really
this looks really
exceeded
cool.
my expectations. I went in thinking it was going to be a small style of game,
Yeah.
but I was blown away.
I was expecting to be smaller too.
Of stuff that's
Yeah, me
there.
too,
And yes, I
honestly.
can see some of the arguments being like kind of like Wind Waker, going across the water, just going across the desert may seem boring to a lot of people. I was never bored. There was always something going on. I went to another side. There's some gigantic alligators to take out. I take them out. Was having a great amount of fun. There's always a treasure chest. There's always something coming up and something to explore.
Good world
and
design.
I've had a great time in Sandland, and I haven't left yet. I'm still there. I'm still having a great time, and I just definitely want to come in and talk about it today. What do you guys think of Sandland? Is this
Cool.
going to become a cult classic? Are you guys picking it up day one?
I bet it will.
He's saying,
Like,
"Nope,
obviously,
I bet it does.
let
this
me
game's
know
not going to
down
sell
below."
like
So,
crazy.
Anyways, guys,
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
next time.
But I could definitely agree with them. It's probably is going to be like a cult classic. Like it'll get like a couple of generations from now, like when the PlayStation 7's out, there'll be people being like, "Bro, hidden gem, Sandland," kind of thing. That's what I see. Blue Dragon, yeah, same. Of course, that's why you're mentioning Akira Toriyama did Blue Dragon. I loved Blue Dragon.
Yeah, that was a cool game.
Blue Dragon, I thought, do I dare say it? I think that was the best RPG on the 360. And there was a couple of good ones.
It definitely was. I mean, especially a JRPG.
Yeah, best JRPG for sure. Loved
I
it
can
for
see
that.
how certain types of people would be like, no, it was Oblivion.
Yeah, Oblivion was really good. But
those two kind of games, they're not really comparable to me.
Yeah, best JRPG. Let's go there. Yeah, because Oblivion was freaking
Like,
tastic.
I liked Lost Odyssey, but Blue Dragon was better.
Yeah, Lost Odyssey is why I hesitated, because I really liked Lost Odyssey. But I think Blue Dragon had a lot more soul to it. And it was Akira Toriyama had a lot to do with that. His art style really brought that world alive.
that game was the dream team, man. It
Yeah,
was
dude.
Hironobu Sakaguchi, Nobuo Uematsu on the soundtrack, and Akira Toriyama on the art, just like Chrono Trigger, man.
Yeah, it was the Chrono Trigger team, dude, and you could tell it felt like it. It felt like it. Last Remnant, I thought Last Remnant was okay. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was okay.
I same.
There was some really cool characters though in Last Remnant. I'll give it that.
There was. I thought it was a really cool world, but dude, something about that combat in that game, I didn't like that much.
Yeah.
I ended up picking that up again, remastered
Yeah,
on the
I didn't
Switch,
like that
and I still
combat
felt
either.
that way.
Yeah, I didn't like the combat. I think that's what hurts it for me. Eternal Sonata was a good one. I agree with that.
Yeah, Eternal Sonata was good, but it is worth mentioning that it eventually did come out on the PS3.
Yes.
And Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey never did.
360 only. That's to this day. I think you might be able to get them on the new Xbox, right? Maybe.
You can buy the original
Digital?
360 digital version of it.
I might do that one day. I wouldn't mind.
I've thought about it so many times, man, because I would like to play it through, especially Blue Dragon.
Especially
again.
Blue Dragon, dude. I actually played the snot out of it. I love that game. So a couple things I want to talk about before we go. Steve, if you could just go back to this guy talking and pause it there for a second.
Wait, which one?
On this Sandland review, the Happy Console Gamer. If you could just pause it somewhere where he is talking. So I've been watching this guy a really long time. I actually really like him. His RPG, I mean, look at the background. Look at some of those games back there. Like, if he says the game's good, then I like it too. Like, it's always been that way. I've been watching him for a long time. But something hilarious I found out about this guy is, obviously he started on YouTube with as a nobody, and he had to work his way up. He's been doing this for many, many years, and he's super popular now. But what's funny is, do you see that table he's sitting at?
Yeah.
That is actually a coffee table, and he is sitting on his ass.
Oh, really?
He never upgraded. Like, this is what he does. Like, he's sitting on the floor at I actually used to have that coffee table. And there was like a behind the scenes one day where he was like showing his room, and I couldn't believe it, dude, because this guy's huge now. Like, this guy's making some decent money with millions of views on his videos now, but he's like, you know what? Keeping it real. This is how I started. I'm going to continue playing on my coffee or doing my videos sitting on my butt at the coffee table. And like,
that's funny, man.
he'll have guests come on the show sometimes, and they'll just crawl up on the ground there with him. There's something
like if you say
about
that, I can kind of tell.
You can
like,
kind of tell
look at
after
the
you find
corner
out.
there where you can see where the ground and like his shelf back there where the sword is.
Yeah, the little the shield.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, because when you look at the length of the sword, obviously it's
touching the ground. Yeah. It's so
That's funny.
It's so funny. Like, me and my wife's very first place had this exact coffee table. And when I saw this thing, I was like, oh my gosh, it's freaking hilarious. But anyway, yeah, Sandland, definitely going to check that out. I was already going to.
Too. I'm kind of pumped about it now.
Yeah,
honestly.
now I'm actually kind of excited about it, to be honest.
Dang it, dude. Eiyuden Chronicles, Sandland, I'm going to go crazy.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, dude, we got a lot going on because I want to play through Baldur's Gate 3 again. Because I'm got it on the PS5 and I'm loving it. It's totally different on the PS5, man. The way that the camera is and the way that you act, you don't click to move. You actually move them around and you can zoom in. I mean, you can do that on the PC too. There's something about the controls on the PS5. I'm really digging it. And I'm back into Baldur's Gate 3 again. I've got Eiyuden Chronicles. And are you playing as a bard? It will shock everybody here that I am playing it again as a paladin. I just... there's something wrong with me. I just can't help it. All right. What else do we got? Lots of good games. It's about time. And somebody had mentioned in chat while that video was going that, like, a lot of these games were technically being made during COVID, but, you know, got delayed because of COVID, etc. And they just decided to take the extra time to put polish on them, make some of these games better. I agree with that. It's about time we start getting the games because it's been rough. It's been rough out here.
Yeah. Real quick before we move on to Stellar Blade, that's what's next. Let's talk about Fallout real quick here.
Yeah, okay.
Did you watch it?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Dude, let me just say, dude, I thought it was awesome. Like, this is one of the coolest video game adaptations probably ever made, in my opinion.
Wow, okay.
It's really good. Does a good job encompassing the games, I felt like. It's obviously brought a ton of new interest to Fallout games. Like, tons of people are playing Fallout games again, all over again.
That's their humor, I feel like, you know?
You know, and also with Elder Scrolls, it's like, I'm thinking about, like, you know, they could go down the serious road, you know, like, give it like a Game of Thrones type of feel to it, which could work. But also at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I think they would just need to have really the story of the game. There isn't really, like, there's some little things here and there, but it's nothing like really, really major, you know what I mean? Like, that's graybeards.
Those freaking graybeards, dude. I know you're secret graybeards. I'm sick of uncovering it every single time. We shouldn't have had to play that game for this long. That's the real problem.
Yeah, that might be the real problem.
Because there's not a lot of options if you're in the mood for Elder Scrolls. Nobody else makes a game like that. That's the thing. Nobody else does that.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But anyway, I agree, and I am definitely going to watch this. By the time we do our next show, I will have seen it. That's my promise.
Yeah, it's good. Definitely worth a watch.
All right. Moving on to Stellar Blade. I found a really cool video. I hope you guys haven't seen it, and even if you have, now you're going to get to see us react to it. I only watched like the first few moments. It was like, oh yeah, we're going to react to this. This is us reacting.
I actually have played this game, so after this video, I can actually speak on it. Yeah, because I had pre-ordered it, so I actually played I'm like 5 hours into that game, and I can definitely speak on it.
Perfect, because I don't know if this is a good, bad, I don't know what they're going to say here. But before we watch this, I want to say, according to what I've seen, most people say Stellar Blade is like way better than they expected. It's a good game, blah, blah, blah. I've heard a lot of people say that. I don't know how these people are going to feel. But we're going to be
let's
reacting.
See how they feel, and then I'll tell you how I feel.
We're going to be reacting to Asmongold reacting to Co-Carnage here today.
Dual reactions.
All right.
Triple reaction, I guess.
Yeah, reacting to a reaction. All right, I'm ready when you are. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Co-Carnage thoughts on Stellar Blade.
With a quick early thoughts video, this time on Stellar Blade. When I first saw this game,
it's like Inception happening right now.
A little optimistic. It looked pretty cool, but have to admit, there were certain assets this game had.
Assets.
I was a little concerned about it.
Okay.
It's funny he says that because I was the exact same way. Whenever I saw this game the first time, I thought it didn't really look that good. And because there were a lot of
Really?
like
I thought it looked
animation attack sequences, I thought that most of
I
the
think it
cool,
does look good.
like methods of combat in this game were going to be quick time events. It was
Sometimes
not
when
true,
games
but
lean
that's what my
very
first
heavily
inclination was.
into their assets. That sometimes can mean the gameplay suffers.
What he's saying is that it's a game that could be made in Unreal 5 that looks amazing, but is a complete piece of fucking garbage that should have never been made and it should have never existed.
Okay.
But because people were able to market the game as looking good, then people buy it anyway.
I took it as he
Yeah,
was talking
that's
about
definitely
because
true.
it's showing so much
So,
of the
that's not
female
at all
body
cases
that it wouldn't be a good
nearly
game.
a great
That's
game.
why the way I
But,
took
you know,
it.
in a lot of cases, that's just kind of how it is. The whole kind of, you know, assets sell.
That is what he's
Yeah,
talking
maybe
about.
the game doesn't need as much of that other stuff to kind of, you know, carry the weight as it is. So when I first started playing Stellar Blade, I did not play the demo, for the record.
And if he's talking about like the character being hot, I also feel the same way. Like whenever I see something that's over sexualized, I usually just assume it's a bad game.
That's true. Usually, if it's over sexualized,
That usually is true.
Yeah,
usually.
yeah.
I'm just
That's
like,
what he
okay,
meant.
well, it's
That's what he
probably-
meant.
Especially with like anime games that are over
I
sexualized.
approached it from a
Yeah.
joking angle, kind of like, oh, you know, let's
Yeah,
see how
especially
this is,
anime.
let's see how the game is. you
Yeah,
know.
sure.
Went in with relatively mid to low expectations.
All right.
I've now spent about 4 hours with the game,
Oh,
and I can safely say that Stellar Blade is awesome.
Oh, he likes it.
It is
There it
actually
is.
a really cool, well-made, fun game.
Nice.
it's a good game.
I love Go Carnage.
Yeah, I remember yesterday whenever I ended my stream, like I've been thinking about playing it again all day today.
Certified
And the thing
banger.
about Stellar Blade that made me really kind of fundamentally realize that I was having a good time is the same feeling that hit me about midway through the recent Fallout TV show.
Oh wow!
And what that
do you
was
know? Full
is
circle.
There was about halfway through the Fallout TV show, something clicked for me, and that is I'm a huge Fallout fan, and I'm loving this show.
I'm a medium Fallout fan.
But I would
Wait,
like
I never even seen
Yeah,
this
me too.
movie
But I
before.
thought the show was great. I loved it. I liked it better as a show
I
than a
had
game.
no idea this even existed. That's crazy. There's an item menu? What?
Did you know there was an item menu, Steve?
Yeah, because I've
That's
actually been playing it.
wow.
this show.
Oh, but he's played it too and didn't even know that.
If it
Or
had
he's
nothing to do
joking
with
because he's
Fallout.
saying he was looking at her ass the
And when
whole
I
time. I'm not
realized
sure.
that is when I realized.
Oh, that could be it because the tutorial tells you that there is.
And I feel that way about Stellar Blade, where it's kind of like after playing it for a little bit, I kind of realized like, wait a second, this is just a great game.
Yeah.
I would play this game if it had no.
Wow, dang, dude, too many good games all at the same freaking time.
I know, dude.
Right.
It's just a solid action game. It's got very cool advanced.
No, I mean, for me, I don't even like playing female protagonists in games. I like playing a guy.
I
But like, if
typically
it's a
like
good
playing
game,
a guy
I'm still
too.
gonna play it.
Just 'cause- I don't know. Why.
Yeah.
Some sexist, I guess.
Mechanics. The combat feels a little.
It's because I'm.
chunky,
It's
but that's
because
by
I'm gay.
design.
That's true.
So it has like.
Oh
this-
boy.
The combat feels
Obviously.
a little slower than traditional action games, but that's because there's kind of like this built-in micro delay / queuing system that makes it so I feel like parrying and blocking is a little easier.
Yeah.
I think some people will just look at it and go, "This feels like input delay," and I don't like it.
It
And when I
does feel like input delay, and I don't like it.
Wait, pause it here. Pause it here.
first
All
started
right.
Do you agree with that on the combat that it feels weird about blocking?
So check this out, man.
Okay.
I heard a lot of people saying that before I got the game, right?
Okay.
So I was like, I wonder. And then I got the game and I am not experiencing that at all, right?
Mm.
And then I saw an article where the developer was like, this sounds really crazy, but if for some reason, if you have, you know how like TVs have like a game mode setting?
Oh yeah, never use that, bro. Never use that.
Yeah, he's saying to disable that and the problem will go away. So I guess a lot of people just are not realizing that. Because
Yeah.
I'm not having that issue at all. For me, the combat is super smooth.
So I turned on the gamer mode on my TV once, and I was playing mostly like turn-based games, so I didn't notice it, right? And
Yeah.
then I put in Zelda Breath of the Wild, I believe it was, dude, and I sucked so bad, dude, and I couldn't figure out why. I was like, dude, what is wrong with me? You know, like I'm usually pretty good at Zelda games, like, and I was sucking. And then I for some reason I was like, wait, let me turn off this game mode, and then it went away. I was good again. So it does. I don't know how big of a delay it is, but it can screw you up. So screw game mode on monitors, on television. Screw that. Always turn it off.
Yeah, I think some of that stuff about that is really dependent on what display you're playing it on for some strange, weird reason.
It's interesting you bring this up.
It kind of makes sense because this game, the combat, you have to be on point. So if there is anything causing the latency, it's going to mess you up.
I would say so in an action-based game, yeah, for sure. I want to mention this real quick because it just reminded me of this. Some people are having an issue. This is really bizarre. Some people are having an issue with Eiyuden Chronicles. I don't know how this works, right? Something about certain. I just heard the guy say, like, if you're playing this game in 60 frames per second and you're not getting the random encounters, then that's why. Like, which is weird because maybe it's a PC problem because, like, you don't get to choose that on the PS5. Like, you just play it how it is. There is no performance mode or anything like that. But just so you guys know, if you're planning on playing Eiyuden Chronicles, if you're not getting any random encounters, a bunch of people are like, dude, the bosses are freaking impossible because they weren't leveling up because they weren't going through the dungeon. They were literally running through the entire dungeons with no encounters. So just want to throw that out there.
And also, I just want to say real quick before we go back into this video, what was I going to say? I forgot I was going to say already.
Something about Stellar Blade, I'm sure.
No, it wasn't about Stellar Blade. It was about something else. Oh, well, maybe I'll remember here in a minute. Let's just watch the video.
Grando Reaper says the game mode might be why I suck at turning and sort of so, Dan. We'll have to look into that.
Here's what I was going to say.
Okay.
I also think that when it comes to console games, and this has got to be some kind of quality control issue in some kind of weird way that I'm not really sure how this works out. So here's the example I'm going to give, and you'll understand what I'm saying.
Okay. So
a guy that I work with, like, he is used to playing games like Elder Scrolls, Fallout. He's big into those games, and he's played a lot of like first person shooters and stuff. You know, like a typical kind of gamer dude. You know.
Yeah.
And we were talking about games one day, and he was basically like, I just want to play something that feels different than all that. I just feel like I keep playing the same game over and over and over again, and I want something that just feels different. And so I got him sold on playing Final Fantasy 16, right?
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I was like, dude, you should try this game because, like, you're never going to have played a game that has a storyline like this game does because none of the kind of games he's played, he's never played a Final Fantasy or anything like that. And I was like, you will love this game, right? And so I let him borrow the game, and he was like pumped about getting to play it, right? And he's got a brand new PS3, doesn't have any issues with
PS5?
it, never has any issue with any, PS5, not PS3, PS5, never have any issues playing any other game, but in Final Fantasy 16, he can't play the game because it just crashes nonstop for him. Like every 5 minutes, the game crashes. And I'm like, that is crazy to me because, like, for me, I have an older PS3, and I never had crash issues with the game, and I played it all the way through. So it's like, what is that about? You know what I mean? That's weird. And he doesn't have the issue with any other game. It's just with Final Fantasy 16. It's bizarro.
Grando Reaper says his SSD must be dying. And that probably is true because a lot of games don't demand that you have an SSD, but Final Fantasy 16 does.
But what's crazy about it is this is a brand new console. He's had it for like 2 months.
Yeah, I bet you it was... He probably,
so, like, there's definitely some quality control issues going on, I feel like.
Yeah, I think Grendo Reaper is correct. I think if he tried to play Baldur's Gate 3, the same thing would happen to him, which also depends on the SSD, from what I've heard. No, I'm sorry, not Baldur's Gate 3. What is it? There's another game that just came out not too long ago that, man, what was that? Maybe it was Baldur's Gate 3. I can't remember, but I know for sure if you remember Final Fantasy 16, that's the big deal with porting it to PC, is they didn't want to put that in the system requirements that had to be installed on SSD.
Oh yeah.
Oh, Dragon's Dogma 2. Thank you. Dragon's Dogma 2 also is very dependent on the
Oh, I
hard
should
drive.
let him borrow that and be like, see if this is causing the same issue, then we could really narrow it down.
Yeah, and if
for
it
him.
is, then he would know that, like, and if it's brand new, hopefully he can go trade it in.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I was like, that is such a bummer, dude, because you were gonna love this game, and now he's had a horrible experience.
Yeah, man.
But anyway,
All right.
yeah. So I mean, who knows? Maybe different consoles are not running the game as good as other ones. You know.
Yeah,
depending on issues.
I bet you it is. I bet you it's that. I bet you anything. All right, you ready to continue?
Yep.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go.
Yeah. Using the combat system, it did feel a little bit weird. But then when you learn about like the parry system and you realize that the parry system kind of like almost overrides that delay a little bit. Like if
it does.
if you're having that slightly delay feeling,
it does. They even talked about that on the beta.
Combat, but the enemy starts to attack. Parry feels like it has no delay, so it creates this weird feeling where it's kind of like the damage dealing part of and the dodging part of combat feels the slightest bit delayed, but the parries actually feel pretty on point. So it's kind of it's an interesting weird feeling that's not normal. But
I would think you would
some
also
people
get used to
say
whatever
it
he's
feels
talking
a little
about.
uncomfortable. For me, after using it for a little bit, it started feeling great. So yeah, there is a little bit of a delay, but it lets parrying be a lot more kind of it makes it more intuitive almost in some ways. But anyway, let's go back to the thoughts video. Combat after a little bit,
The monsters look awesome.
Advancement.
Yeah,
Combat is good in the game. True.
Mechanics. They're palpable and look good as well.
They're okay. Like I don't like some of the upgrade mechanics I think are a little bit stale, but the reason why I think it's okay is because it has the whole talent tree. And like you can level up your character through the talent tree. So anything that like I would feel is like not super great with the other stuff is kind of overridden by the talent tree.
Lots of skills to get. Enemy variety is awesome. I've really liked the enemies so far I've encountered in this game. They're unique, they're weird.
Yeah, they're good.
I dig it. Level design, great. Lots of verticality, lots of little off the main path hidden stuff. Really enjoying that as well. Tons of loot everywhere. It's been really enjoyable. Music's been good, although a little repetitive.
Music is very repetitive. It could get a lot better because I feel like I'm always listening to the same track over and over and over.
Yeah, overall, just at the end of my early thoughts video here, game is good. Stellar Blade, solid. I don't want to call it a Souls-like, but solid kind of action.
Yeah,
it's
definitely a Souls-like.
It's not really a Neo. It's not really a Dark Souls.
If you dodge, it's Souls-like. That's how it is.
It firmly is in kind of that action combat.
Yeah.
Devil May
No. This guy's wrong. It is a Souls-like.
Okay, yes, it's Dark Souls.
And definitely enjoying it. So anyway, that's it right now. So far, Stellar Blade has been awesome. I do only have like 4 hours into it. I'm planning on at least finishing the main story, and maybe we'll make a more thorough thoughts video when we get to the end.
Yeah, it looks like it's Souls-like for sure.
It is 100% one. Believe me, and I'll tell you more after we finish the video.
I don't know yet. We'll see, but
I bet that the characters do seem like the story doesn't seem like it's that special at all, but the character design is S tier. Like whether it's like that girl in that one like bar or like the old guy, oh, it's so good.
It'll be fun. All right, guys, I'm out of here.
See you, dude.
Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the stream.
See you later, Go.
Carnage. See you then.
Till next time, Go. All right. Oh, there's still more. Sorry.
There it is. Yeah. I mean, I definitely agree. I feel like the game, like most games for me, get better as I spend more time playing them. Like at the beginning, like generally my opinion of a game will be at its lowest at the beginning because I won't really understand or appreciate what the game is about. And then as I play more of it,
I would say a good game gets better the more you play it.
I'm like, okay, now I'm starting to get it. Now I know what I'm talking about. I can start playing this more, you know, or start enjoying it more. The characters are boring. Yeah, I think they're kind of boring too, to be honest. I do. I don't find them particularly interesting either. Would it still be a good game without the girl controversy?
Good question.
I think that Stellar Blade has better combat than Lies of P. I think that it does. And I thought Lies of P was an incredible game. So, like, Lies of P is a great game. Stellar Blade is better, in my opinion. Which makes sense, right? I mean, like, obviously, you know, the people that made Stellar Blade are more experienced. They have more resources, and they made a better game. I think Lies of P is good, but I think Stellar Blade is better. Stellar Blade's parry is better. I just think a lot of things about it are better, to be honest with you. It's not just like one
That was
thing.
an abrupt ending.
Yeah, that's just an excerpt
lot
from
of
a
people
live
are-
stream. All right, so so what do you think about the game?
Stellar Blade. Okay, so here is... So keep in mind, I'm only a few hours into the game.
Okay.
And so there's some things that I might say that may change because... and I'll explain why.
Okay.
So the first part of the game, you're playing through this, like... you're playing through this certain area, right?
Okay.
And it takes a while to get through it. And once you finally get through it, then you go to this huge city. And I'm pretty much just got there. So I don't know what is going to happen now or how the gameplay, like the flow of the gameplay might change, because it seems like there's like quests and stuff in there that you can do, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't really got to really dive deep into that yet. But so the game, first of all, I actually really like the game. Now, on that note, I actually do not like Souls-like games. I'm pathetic, and they're just too dang hard for me. You know what I mean? They're so freaking brutal, and I get frustrated, and I usually never end up playing them for too long at a certain point.
Yeah.
And, you know, that's on me, whatever, you know. No, I'm not saying Souls-likes are bad games or anything like that, but the thing that I like about this game is that it has a story mode, right?
Okay.
So do not, if you're like me and you're not a badass at Souls-likes, right? Do not go thinking that this game's going to be easy on story mode, because it's still not easy. You know what I mean? It's still hard. It's hard enough to where, like, I'll beat like a boss and be like, feel a sense of accomplishment because it's still really freaking hard. You know what I mean? It was still hard as hell for me. I'm just not that great at Souls-like games. So with that being said, this game is definitely a Souls-like game. It's Souls-like combat. I don't care what anyone says. Like, for that guy to say this game had combat like Devil May Cry is insane. It is nothing like that at all. It's a 100% a Souls-like. There's no other way to describe
Devil May Cry is like pure action with just a little bit of like snappy, really quick kind of reaction. But mostly just
Bayonetta
offensive.
is like Devil May Cry. This game is not like Bayonetta or Devil May Cry. This game...
See, that's what I thought it would be like. I was expecting Bayonetta.
Freaking Elden Ring, you know what I mean?
Interesting.
Like, it's a Souls-like. I mean, yeah, you get a lot more abilities. It feels like that you can master and do. With that being said, I didn't play tons of Elden Ring far enough to know how many really abilities you can get in that game.
Can I play this game in the living room and my daughter walk in and not look like a pervert?
It depends on what your daughter thinks is being perverted.
Cringe.
So like this game is like, so like you see her outfits, right?
Uh-huh.
That's really the only thing perverted about it, honestly.
Okay.
Like the storyline isn't like all weird and sexual and perverted, you know? It like takes itself really seriously.
Okay. So
like,
it's
yeah,
not.
she climbs
It's not.
down. She slides down ladders and ropes in like a very femininely sexy looking way, but not like she's not like. It's not like. Like this game is not a. Even though they made the character sexy and have like skin tight outfits and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
The story itself is not like sexual. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So although the character is sexualized, they didn't like make that like into this whole thing where the game
she
revolves
doesn't
around.
act. Her like voice and stuff is like not like, you know, she doesn't say stuff. She's like very serious. You know what I mean? She's not like even like flirty or anything like that. So like the most perverted thing really about it is just literally what she looks like and what she wears.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
But now the game is gory as a mug.
Yeah.
Like there's this part at the very beginning, this lady gets her arm ripped off, and I was like, oh dang.
Okay. I actually think I might have saw that scene. I think I saw that scene.
You probably did because it's right in the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
it's like super early. But I think that the graphics are really cool. The worlds look cool. Once you get to that part in the city, like that part looks so freaking sweet. That city right there that it's showing, actually. So I think it's pretty good, honestly. I'm enjoying it so far. And the thing, you know, people were saying like the story being boring and the characters are boring. Honestly, I could see how you could say that, and I'm not like so into the story that I'm like going nuts. It's not like Final Fantasy level storytelling or anything, you know.
Right.
But it reminds me of like your classic like science fiction in a world kind of like this style of anime story, which I think is cool because I've seen so many animes that have this type of world and story going on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I'm actually really enjoying it, and there's just a lot of cool things about it. Like, you know, you can level up your level your character up, you build, you can like level up your weapon and like you get these other things that like go on you that's kind of like armor sort of that you level up. You can level up your skill tree and all that stuff. And I'm just a weirdo and I like this kind of stuff, not for like a sexual reason or anything. But I think it's cool that this game has 39 different outfits that you can unlock, regardless if they look sexy or not. I just like that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I agree with that. Peace Talk says it's going to have to wait for a PC port. I noticed this was published by Sony Interactive. So they have started doing PC ports, so it'll be interesting to see, like, maybe a year from now, maybe we might see a PC port of this, possibly.
Like, I'll be honest, I would like the game even more if it was Devil May Cry style combat and not a Souls-like. But I don't know, the easy mode is still, it's not like easy like why am I even playing this game kind of thing. It's still hard. You could get yourself killed easily if you're not paying attention and trying to fight the enemies properly as the game intends. Like, dude, even like just regular enemies on the screen can really mess you up. Like, not even the bosses, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, like, I'm playing, like, for me, where I'm not a Souls-like badass, like, I'm playing through this game and I'm feeling like I've become a badass at Souls-likes, even though the game's still pretty hard, you know what I mean?
Might ease you into it, too. Like, you know, if you play this game, it might make you be able... I mean, I haven't played it, so I can't comment on it yet, but it could be a good... could be a good, what's the word I'm looking for, like, predecessor to get into those games, because those games are really good.
Yeah, like a good gateway.
Yeah, like a gateway. That's what I was thinking
game.
Yeah, like a gateway.
Yeah, and maybe it would be, because, you know, that's the one thing about most Souls-likes games do not have an easy difficulty. No. You know what I'm saying? Like, you either get good at it or you're not playing it.
Yeah, agreed. Even Elden Ring, like... It still has that feel to it, but usually the way Elden Ring works is you get to a point where you have to fight this certain boss. And you can go do other stuff and level up and get stronger to make it a little bit more possible to beat this boss, but you still got to fight this really nasty, hard boss, which I really like that kind of feeling where, you know, you might go days or even a week, you know, trying to beat this boss, and then finally when you do it, it feels like the old days of like playing a Nintendo game or Super Nintendo, like 8-bit, 16-bit days where like you finally get past something, you know, and you're like, oh my gosh, finally, I did it, you know. And then after that, you beat the boss like so easy for the rest of your life. Like that boss is nothing. Yeah. So interesting.
The other thing I'll say about this game too, and like I'll just be honest, it is kind of like a breath of fresh air to play a game that has character designs like this.
Yeah,
that's actually a good game in a world that we're living in now, where they force us to be really ugly characters most of the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's kind of a breath of fresh air. You know, they could have made, even if they would have made the character not wear skin tight clothes, you know,
right.
I would still feel that way about it, just because she's like, I don't really know exactly how to describe what I'm saying, but I think everybody gets the gist.
I know what you mean. Lure you in with the booty candy, and then stay for the game. You know? Lure them by the booty, stay for the game. Yes. That's old school game.
I really don't understand why it's such a huge controversy.
Just because.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy we live in a day where this is controversial. This was the norm less than 10 years ago.
And it's funny, too, how they pick and choose their battles, because it's like, you take a game like Baldur's Gate 3, nobody was saying crap about this stuff, but this was a game where there actually has nudity and sex scenes and all the other stuff.
There was a few people that said stuff about, but, you know, it didn't go...
Well, yeah, I'm sure there was, but not on the level that this game is getting the attention for.
Agreed. All right, well, I do want to watch one more thing about this game before we move on. I didn't put them in order, Steve, but after that, there's one here.
Oh, I see.
Game of the Year. Let's check this out. All right, I'm going to get it pulled up.
Okay.
Let me pause it. All right, it's another Asmongold video that's called Game of the Year. Let me know when you're ready.
Ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Make the bunny suit? How do I do that?
The bunny suit. Oh, no.
Oh my god.
Okay. Definitely don't want my daughter to walk in
This costume is fucking
in this
ridiculous.
costume.
This guy's apparently got a costume.
He said,
How dull.
Damn.
Dang,
He didn't
dude.
like it.
He's not impressed easily.
Shall I begin?
His eyebrow. Oh my goodness.
Okay. Is this his actual armor? Yeah, this is actual armor in the game. Of course it is.
That's hilarious. I haven't seen this
Game
one
better
yet.
if it was a 300-pound woman. Man.
Game be better
for
for
people that felt
oh
that
boy.
way.
Angel, you're back. What happened? Any luck finding the Sentinel? We both knew this was a dangerous mission. Well,
He's pulling his collar even.
mission. That's a relief. Angel, feel free to use the elevator over there. I repaired it.
Bro! Look respectfully before they write another article on our ass.
Dude, that boss looks freaking cool, dude.
Yeah, it's worth mentioning too that some of the outfits are a lot more tame also.
Right.
Like you don't have to wear that outfit. You can.
This is the outfit I wear when,
like the,
you know,
the
the wife and kids are
spectacle,
out of
Nobody's
town.
watching.
Yeah, yeah. They're in bed already.
Like the.
Like, I have an
that's
outfit
one
already
thing
that
this
I
game
got
think
that's
does
like
really
the
well.
bottom part's
It's
like a
like
dress, so
large-scale,
it's not
like,
even skin
spectacle
tight.
Style rooms.
Sue, it's me.
Angel, how? If you manage to find me here.
This game be a candidate for Game of the Year. I don't think it's going to get Game of the Year, but it'll probably get some sort of award.
I ask you the same. Did you come all the way here to hide this?
Game of the decade.
Oh boy. All right. All right.
Basically, what happened was that Stellar Blade had.
All right. Well,
That's funny.
that is interesting. Can you scratch and sniff the screen? I don't think they've added that technology. I did see, though, speaking of which, I did see that there is a technology now that uses the game audio and mixed with some AI on the what's happening on the screen to make sense and in your gamer room. So, have you guys seen this? Have you heard of this, Steve?
Yeah, I think I have heard. I don't know. Maybe I haven't. It sounds familiar.
Let me see if I can find it real quick because I think this is interesting because the only experience I have with this is when Resident Evil 7 came out in VR. I did get some of the incense you could burn that made it smell like an old house.
Oh yeah, I
And in
remember
the-
they did that. There was like a candle.
It was a candle. That's what it was, not incense. It was a candle. And I did play it a little bit with that. It was too scary, and I had to quit doing the candle. But it was just a little too much. But ever since I did that, I've been intrigued by this. See if I can find. See if I can find it. Okay, I did find it. Let's watch this, Steve. I'm gonna post a link for you. How long?
I'm gonna get a little chew of that.
Yeah, it's not
I'm gonna
too
get a
long.
little
of a
chew
video.
out of that.
Yeah, let's check this out. This is a review of this technology. So let's see, because I just seen something real quick and short about that it was available. I'm gonna post at the end here. All right, let me know when you got it, Steve. I just sent it. Let's watch this.
I'm so bad about not looking at myself in the mirror normally in real life that usually it's always when I do this show where I'm like, it's time for me to trim up my beard a little bit. I'm looking a little scruff.
Dude, I go back after the show's over and watch it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to freaking do something. I look like a freaking weirdo. All right.
I need to start looking in my mirror more often, I guess.
Yeah, I don't really look at the mirror either. I just kind of...
I'm ready.
I make sure my hair's not too crazy when I go out the door. And that's actually, my wife does that. I still don't even do that. She'll be like, you need to go fix your hair. You look crazy. All right, are you ready?
Yep.
3, 2, 1. This is called Game Scent Review. So I guess it's called Game Scent. All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey folks, Greg here. Today we're going to be unboxing and reviewing something I've never quite done on this channel before. It's called
Well, who has done this before?
You can smell
Yeah, right.
games.
Not many.
Games.
How bizarre. Forest scent.
Okay,
I see that in there.
Wondering if you've never heard of this product, like what is GameScent? I'm just going to read the back of the box.
And what's it compatible with?
GameScent automatically analyzes what is happening in a game in real time by capturing the audio stream and using AI software to deduce key activities such as gunfire, explosion, racing cars, forest storms, and even clean air, which eliminates the odors instantly. So this is basically a device that looks for cues in games and films and TV shows and sends a signal to their cloud software. That
interesting. So probably could work with anything.
That's included in the kit, and then does
any game
of oil-infused
and movies.
And movies, yeah.
Have you immersed in the experience. Now, first I want to talk about the setup before I get into anything else. It was relatively easy to set up. I had a little bit of difficulty setting up because I have 3 consoles going into a receiver and 1 HDMI coming out into the TV, and it comes with this little adapter that works as a pass-through, and that's what communicates to the cloud and the atomizer. And for some reason, my system did not like having to go through 2 pass-throughs. So I had to get a little creative. I did end up getting it working eventually. The problem was it has to be turned on first before anything else gets turned on. If I don't do that, I have issues. So that was just me, but if you have console or PC and you're going straight into the adapter, into your monitor or into your TV, you're not going to have that much issue. It's relatively easy. Both the atomizer and the adapter are powered by USB.
That guy don't like cats in his room when the door's closed, I noticed.
No data is transferred. It's just
you see that?
Its own Wi-Fi technology to talk to the cloud, to talk to everything else. The only thing that has to be plugged into the console is the adapter, which acts as a pass-through between
This is kind of a lot, I gotta say.
The atomizer.
Also, I don't want to have something that I have to refill the vials every so often.
Because I originally had it behind my TV, thinking that I have to keep it behind my TV.
Yeah, that'd be annoying.
That's where the cords are. Later, I moved.
I wonder how
it
quickly
to the
it goes
right of
through
my
that
sofa
stuff.
because it can go anywhere in the house as long as it's connected to the Wi-Fi. It doesn't need to be near or around the TV or its
So would this work on a
Then I took
movie
out
if it's just taking the signal?
The game scent, and those 6
I bet it
cents
might.
are storm.
Because somehow they said it's using AI to determine what's happening in the game or movie to make that smell.
Did he say movie? Okay, yeah.
He said a movie.
Okay.
So they disperse in the air like a
It'd be funny to just hide this in your living room and your family doesn't know about it. That would be funny.
That would be funny.
And the atomizer itself, I sat down with my wife and played our first game, and I figured what better game to experiment with this than Fallout 4.
Fallout 4?
Games are super immersive. So we played for about an hour, and we did notice very subtle scents filling the room.
Like metallic?
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be gunfire, yeah.
Okay, I think I'm smelling some kind of metallic type smell.
Gunfire? I would describe it as smoky baby powder. I know that's
smoky baby
powder.
powder.
I kind of appreciated that. I didn't want something wafting to my nose.
Well, he's probably only ever fired a gun in a video game.
Yeah.
The gunfire one was not bad. The explosion one kind of smelled a bit smoky. Again, not too bad.
Oh, there we go. We got.
Ooh, I was hoping for the real scent of like gunpowder. That would be sweet.
Yeah, because I blew something up in the back.
The worst of the scents was probably car racing. That scent smells like tires and gas, rubber and gas.
This guy doesn't like the smell of rubbers and gas?
I don't like that one at all. You can manually
What's wrong with this guy?
scents as well through their app. They are on a timer, so you can't like spam it and fill your whole room with like oil-based fog, which you wouldn't want to do anyway.
That realizing made your room all smoky.
The storm scent didn't come up much in Fallout 4, unfortunately. A lot of gunfire and explosions, though. So it was a pretty subtle scent at first. Then my wife got up and went closer to the atomizer, and she found out that it was kind of hanging out all to the right of the sofa. Like that's where it kind of amassed.
Oh.
So when you are setting this up, try to make sure
I'm gonna put it right on my lap, so it like
right.
shoots right up in my face.
Flow like through the room, so it doesn't just all stagnate in one corner, because that's what mine was doing. But it was very.
There's a
strong
limited
when
amount
my
of
wife
scents too.
Yeah. I wonder if it tries to mix them. Okay. I think we've seen enough.
So, yeah, we've seen enough of this.
We've seen enough of that. I think the technology has a while to go before it's cool. That's my takeaway.
When you open that sucker up and there's like 100 different scents in there and it has the ability to mix them and stuff, like that's what we need.
Yeah, I agree.
Like when that guy caught on fire in Fallout 4, you should have been able to smell like burning flesh.
Oh, see, when we get to that,
you don't want to smell it, but you should.
You should, because you know what? That's what you would smell. You know what I'm saying? It might change your behavior in games a little bit.
It really would. Like, imagine, you know how people play games and just do the most awful, horrible stuff.
Yeah, dude.
Given the option, they might not want to have their house smelling like dead people all the time.
Yeah, they may stand a little further back. Like, imagine like you throw a grenade and it like splits somebody open in this fiery explosion and their gore and their guts burst open. You would like run away. You know what I mean? You'd like try to get away.
Yeah, you would not stick around for like, oh, we got to get out of here before the smell kicks in.
Yep. So there you go, guys. It's coming though. We're getting to that point. More games might add farting. Yeah, that's true. Oh, Zucan just rated us with 32 people. Welcome, guys. We're talking about all the game news. We're currently talking about synths in video games, which is a new technology that probably isn't. It's not really at the point of being cool yet, but. Yeah, like developers could make video games play pranks on you. Like some dude farts in your face. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of here with that.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that, but you know, I would try it sometimes. What's up, Scruffy? What is up, Scruffy? All right, let's move on to the next topic. What we got? Oh, dude, Metaphor.
Oh, yeah.
Metaphor. So before we start this is a gameplay overview of Metaphor Fantazio. This is from the developers that made the wonderful Persona series. What's the one that I liked? I just forgot the name of.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. No, that's not it.
That's not it. What is it? The one on the Switch that's coming to the PS5 and PC and all that.
Shin Megami Tensei.
Shin Megami Tensei. This is a fantasy RPG though.
Yeah, which is cool because they don't usually do that.
Yeah. I started early. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about this. Let's pull this video up.
Are we starting this video right at the beginning? Are we watching this whole thing?
We probably won't watch the whole thing. We'll just watch until we're like, okay, we get the point. All right, let me know.
Maybe we should start it at 4:20.
4:20. Okay.
So we don't have to listen to the speech at the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so 4:20. Let me get mine there. Okay, I'm there.
All right, cool. Ready. I'm good.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Before I start playing, let me introduce the premise of the story. In this game, you'll be forging bonds to support your claim for the throne. But it's a unique take on this that we hope puts a spin on the classic tale.
Yeah.
In a kingdom thrown into chaos by the king's assassination, a royal magic is triggered that establishes an election. This magic allows any individual of any social status to become the next king by gaining the people's support.
An election for
which
the king.
sets a battle for the throne in motion. The protagonist gets involved, and the journey will take him around the world. It's a journey that I hope you enjoy, as it's unique to this game. You'll meet various allies of different tribes, rivals who stand by their own ideologies, and terrifying monsters called humans will stand in your way.
Called humans?
The story's brimming with fateful encounters like this. Above all else, a game offers a different experience than a movie or novel. So to prevent this from becoming just a vehicle for our tale, we've gone to great lengths to flesh out the experience into an exciting, fully fleshed game. There's lots to be excited about, so I hope you'll stay with us till the end.
This looks cool already.
It does look cool.
Let's get started.
It's like high fantasy with that Shin Megami Tensei flavor.
Yeah.
The title's logo design is based on the concept of a city's main street. It conveys our hope that players will enjoy a journey through a world full of diverse tribes. If you don't mind, let's start at the beginning.
I don't mind.
I don't mind either.
What makes Metaphor different from other fantasy RPGs is the perspective of their world in which our world is their fantasy.
Oh, interesting.
After players enter their name, they must answer the questions. Is fantasy limited to the confines of imagination? Would you call it a powerless creation? The game questions the power of fantasy, a power we all possess. I hope the game helps you arrive to your own conclusions.
I wonder if those questions play out in some kind of way.
They may.
Our protagonist's journey and goal is to save the prince who has been cursed. This is a scene from the beginning of the game.
Think we'll make it?
What differentiates this from previous Atlas RPGs is that we've added a more dynamic sense of action.
Let's go.
The turn-based battles are still central to the combat, but we've incorporated real-time attacking and dodging elements, as well as dashing around and analyzing to keep things exciting.
Wait, how does that work?
At the beginning of the game, the protagonist isn't strong yet,
Watch out.
so the difficulty of the battles is intentionally pretty high in this area.
Oh, nice. Okay.
We wanted players to get a sense of both tension and accomplishment.
Wait, what's going on?
I might die if I risk fighting right now, so I'll explore cautiously during this segment.
Oh, he's
That said,
staying
there
out
are
of
multiple
combat.
difficulty levels and convenience factors to make things easier, so we hope anyone who wants to play can enjoy it.
I can at least cast my usual spell for you.
In this scene, our fairy companion casts a musical spell. The music you hear in-game is in the protagonist's head.
Oh, weird.
The composer behind the music is Shoji Meguro. People probably know him from the Persona series, but I've asked him not to be constrained by his trademark pop style, and to take on the challenge of creating a totally new sound to fit this game's
That
world.
music sounds cool.
We hope you'll look
It's probably
forward
gonna
to
have an
hearing it.
amazing soundtrack.
Yeah.
This is a particularly large area in the game, and you can see hordes of enemies ahead.
Oh,
One
crazy.
exciting aspect of this game
Oh,
is
look
that
at all
you can
that.
decide which enemies to fight and how to deal with them. But I'll explain more about battles later. First, let's take a walk around a city.
Hey, you found something.
Oh, wow. The
This
city
is the
looks
first
awesome.
stop on our journey,
Yeah,
the
that looks
Royal
cool.
Capital Grand Trad. The background art was designed by Koda Kazuma, a guest artist we're thrilled to work with. The dynamic architecture comes to life with a unique sense of realism in medieval painting like shaders, so I hope you enjoy taking it in. Here we are at the city entrance, and you probably noticed the massive armored vehicle.
Yeah, look at that.
The protagonist will ride around in this to travel the world. The original designs of these vehicles were created by Ikuto Yamashita.
Oh, cool.
I'll get into the journey aspect in a little bit, so let's walk around the city a bit more. Using magic, you can ride around on your sword to get from one
Oh,
place to another
weird. He's
quickly.
riding on a sword.
I wouldn't define this game as being open world, but we took care to flesh out even the distant backgrounds so you can feel the unique atmosphere of every location.
That's cool.
Now we're heading toward an alley. The atmosphere changes a lot from the main street. This is where executions happen. That's not something you see very often in modern-day stories. You'll also note some people cowering in the streets, because this world has a prevalent gap between rich and poor. As for our
I think that was.
protagonist, he's a boy from an
I think that was his way
inferior
of saying
tribe,
like there's some dark
abhorred
things.
by
I
others.
think that's.
Yeah.
Despite his social standing, he's
hilarious
going to
way to
participate
say
in the
it.
royal
You don't
tournament.
see that in your everyday game, buddy.
You'll find many problems in each town you visit, and of course people will need your help. His interactions affect his popularity in the race.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
You're trying to win. You're trying to become
Let's
the king.
check out the town map.
Yeah, this is
You can
this.
see where
I
you're
bet you this is
currently
going to be
located,
really
and
cool
then
and
instantly
unique.
move anywhere you've previously visited.
It'll definitely be unique.
This should help make the journey more comfortable.
Because executions, dude.
Yeah, I mean you don't see
Let's
that
zoom
every
out to
day
the
in the
map
game.
of the entire kingdom. This is the royal capital where we are now. In this world, the areas between cities are dangerous areas referred to as wastelands, which makes travel difficult, unlike our world today. As the story progresses, your main hub moves from city to city. And with that, let's take a look at a new city. This is Martira, a town we're unveiling for the first time.
I like this one.
It's a pastoral town, quite a contrast from the capital.
Oh,
it may
yes.
be normal in other fantasy RPGs.
Ooh, look, the
but
castle on
through
the
these
hill.
acts
Yeah,
of
that's
traveling
cool
and
looking,
staying
man.
at
I
new
love the
places,
look.
I hope
Yeah.
you
I
get
love
a
this-
true
this-
sense of being on a journey, which is a difficult thing to convey in modern-day stories. By incorporating a unique sense of daily life into traveling, we've made taking a trip feel as real as possible in this game.
So I want you
You'll
to feel
encounter
the
all
journey.
sorts of things on the road, so please look forward to how the story unfolds.
I imagine the reason that
Let's
it feels a
drop in
little
at the
goofy
recruitment
is it's
center
an
in this
exact
city.
translation.
Here you take requests to fight dangerous monsters. These threats to the city are called bounties. Bounties give you some nice rewards, which hopefully encourages you to challenge them. And that's really just one of many challenging aspects the game has to offer. This is the weapons shop. Each city you stay in has various facilities, and in this game your choice of equipment is especially important. In Metaphor, we wanted to give you the freedom to customize your party your own way.
Yeah,
so we hope you'll even find some joy in making preparations to explore dungeons in your own style.
All right, then.
Let's enter the tavern. I see an informant here. Informants offer hints about dungeons and battle strategies. Even collecting information like this is something we put a lot of thought into making enjoyable.
This is interesting.
The back of the tavern is actually an
Dude,
inn.
I think I'm really going to enjoy
Visiting
this.
a new town and staying at a new inn, that's half the fun of traveling, isn't it? There's so much to do in these cities and towns that I can't cover it all, so stay tuned for further announcements. Moving on, let's hop into the Gauntlet Runner and head to the battlefield.
See, hop into the Gauntlet?
The Gauntlet
Runner
Maybe
is
that's
a
the
vehicle
ship.
that can travel
Yeah.
safely across
Oh.
wastelands. A mobile base, if you will, with movement and mechanisms that allows it to run on magic. So our protagonist and many others travel in their Gauntlet Runners to gather popularity. Let's go ahead and board. This is the Gauntlet Runner's War Room. If you access the round table here, all your allies gather back from town, and a map of your journey opens. Most RPGs don't have a time limit on the adventure, but Metaphor revolves around the concept of dates and time. For people today, travel often has a fixed itinerary, such as 3 days and 2 nights. So in this game, we've captured the travel experience with predetermined lengths of activities and structure. But within that, what you do, where you go, is up to each player who can choose to do things differently. You're free to spend your time as you please.
Okay.
Here we have the list of quests I've
A little
accepted.
bit of a Persona vibe there.
Yeah.
You have a set time frame.
It works
to
really
complete
well in
the
that
main
game,
story
too. It's one of the
objective
only
at
games
each
that I think
location
it
you
works.
visit.
Yeah.
But these side quests play an important role in the story too. Some require fighting strong enemies, while others may offer rare equipment. The order in which you take on these quests will have a great impact on how difficult the battles feel. So which challenges you take on first will play a big factor in your experience. Now let's pick a destination and head out. Okay, we have departed. In most games, you arrive at your destination instantly, but here you're inside the runner, heading toward it.
Cool.
Interesting.
Imagine,
I
for
like
example,
stuff like that.
living in a camper with your travel companions. Cooking, conversing, camping, and more. We want you to have a realistic traveling experience, so we designed the game to reflect that.
You even gotta use the bathroom,
This
dude.
is the kitchen. You can cook the ingredients you've gathered with your friends to make valuable items.
Dave's gonna like it. You can cook.
In the back is the common room. Looks like nobody's here right now, but your allies will often visit you to spend time with them. There is also a collection of books for you to read.
I think
Or if
a
you'd
lot
rather
of
not
this
do
makes
anything,
more sense if
you can sleep here.
The way it's describing it
As
makes
you
more
can
sense
see,
if
we
you
have
played
Japanese-style
like Persona. I feel
capsule-shaped
like.
beds.
Yeah.
I feel like if you
The
had,
Gauntlet
you'd be
Runner's
like,
interior
what?
is quite spacious and even
Yeah,
has
because
its
in
own
Persona there's a lot of
engine.
relationship building
Here's a
with the
washing
characters,
machine,
and it looks like a lot of that's
and you'll
going to
find
happen on
cleaning
these
supplies,
trips.
too.
Right. Instead of between
I hope you're excited to learn more
scenes
about how they play
during
into things.
downtime, it happens on the ship. It seems like.
Yeah.
Which is
Limited to
actually
staying
way cooler
inside
than it
the
sounds
Gauntlet
like.
Runner. If you
Oh,
climb
that
up
looks
the ladder
cool,
to the
dude.
deck,
That is
you
sweet.
can see it moving through this massive world.
I like that a lot.
You can even see monsters soaring overhead.
Dude, look how
The
cool
Gauntlet
this ship
Runner has
looks.
so much to do as you head to your next stop that it's impossible
Yeah,
to
that's
tell you it
cool.
all here.
It's literally
so
like
please
running.
stay tuned.
That's actually pretty
Once
cool.
you've prepared in the runner or a city, you'll arrive in a dungeon. Here's an introduction to the combat system, which is critical to making progress.
I'm curious to see this too.
Yeah. Ooh, I like how it looks.
This is the entrance to a certain dungeon. Let's check the main menu before we head in. Here we have features like items, skills, and equipment. You can see that the UI has always been one of our strong suits.
Yeah.
It's something that we were very particular about. You often spend a lot of time navigating menus in RPGs.
Yeah, I love the
so we wanted
UI
to
in
give
their
players a
games,
beautiful
man.
interface to enjoy a
It's so
stronger sense of
flashy and
immersion.
cool looking.
So outrageous.
Let's check out the party customization screen. The key to strengthening a party in Metaphor lies in the job system, and the growth of these jobs is critical to advancing through the game. In Metaphor, the power of these jobs is called archetypes.
Do you pick it?
Archetypes are a very important element to this game, which I'll give you a few more details on.
Oh, yeah.
By confronting their anxiety, the protagonists acquire these archetypes, a special power. Think of them as heroic figures everyone possesses.
Oh, I see.
Their powers manifest in various forms throughout the game. Examples of some archetypes that show up early in the game include the Seeker, who is an all-rounder in battle, the Mage, who strikes weaknesses with offensive magic, and the Thief, who can plunder resources.
I didn't know it was going to do something like this.
But the key point of the system here is that the character can undergo a transformation, taking on the appearance of various heroic figures and then use their skills to fight. Let's enter the dungeon and take a look at what kind of combat is possible.
Yeah.
All right, let's see the combat.
Once you enter the dungeon, use your fairy companion's power to analyze your surroundings. This will give you a sort of ranking of nearby enemies. And by that I mean how strong they are. As you can see, many enemies are glowing blue, which indicates a lower rank, in other words, weaker enemies. One of the things we kept in mind during development was our goal to make the game as fast-paced and exhilarating as possible.
I thought it was turn-based. Is that
It
just 'cause they
is
were easy?
at parts, I think.
So maybe if they're
Tedious
easier
and
mobs?
slow-paced enemy encounters
Yeah,
can ruin the
maybe.
game's rhythm,
Oh,
especially
yeah.
if you know you can win against weaker enemies.
Okay, that's interesting. That
Now
one's
you'll
yellow.
notice we have a large monster ahead. More dangerous enemies give off a yellow glow. If the analysis indicates they're formidable, you should approach
There we
cautiously.
go.
Unlike
Cool.
before.
I kind of like
Pressing
that's
the
kind of neat.
squad
It's a good
button
idea,
will call
yeah.
your
Because
party
if they're
members to
super
your
easy,
side,
why waste all the
transitioning
time?
us
Just
smoothly into a
make
turn-based
them die
battle.
quick.
And then it kind of gives it like an action combat vibe and also turn-based combat.
This is a good
all
idea.
in one.
Why can't
Even
Final
for
Fantasy
battles that
do stuff
require
like
a
this?
squad approach to defeat them with skills, the action portion before it is
What's that
designed
music,
to provide
dude?
a tactical element with mechanics that can lead
Yeah,
to
it's
both
gonna have a
advantages
legendary
and
soundtrack.
disadvantages.
I bet.
The squad option allows you to engage
probably
and
buy it on
enjoy
vinyl.
tense tactical battles without even drawing close.
We should do dungeon
and
runs
using
to
a
decide
variety
our
of
presidents in
skills
real
and
life.
strategic
I would like that. It should be
That would be good.
televised.
Party
That would be good.
customization is highly
Televised.
flexible and
I'm
strategic.
trying to make it through the dungeons.
So
with
we encourage you to
monsters.
create your own unique and powerful party.
And their party is the cabinet they plan to bring with them. Like
We have just annihilated the enemies.
Yeah.
As you
Yeah.
can see, you can earn bonus rewards by defeating all enemies without taking any damage. We implemented this feature to provide a sense of accomplishment in party customization, so I suggest you try it out. So that's the exhilarating action elements and the strategic nature of the turn-based battles. It's a battle system with two aspects to enjoy, so we hope you have fun when the game comes out.
yeah, I like that. That was a good idea. I think.
Yeah, I think that's cool too.
Next,
We'll
I'd
see
like
how
to
fun
touch on
it
the
is,
volume of dungeons. As you progress through the story, you'll come across main dungeons, which you'll tackle as part of the main story, and side dungeons, which you can explore as part of quests. Both types will of course plunge you into battle. In terms of the number of dungeons to challenge, it's more
This is
than any
definitely going to be
previous
interesting.
title
I
of
think that
ours.
I'm going to really enjoy
Furthermore,
it,
the
to be
dungeon
honest.
mechanics we've designed were created to avoid impacting the balance and pacing, reducing anything that may bore you. The battle system in these dungeons is one of our strongest selling points. So we hope you enjoy it. As we created the game, one
Buddy
area we
girls.
focused on was how spending time on the road impacted the growth of your party members.
Here we go.
One of the systems that symbolize this is the follower system. The protagonist will meet and befriend various people over his journey. As he continues to deepen these bonds, these followers will become his strongest supporters. Seeing their way of life through these interactions, the protagonist senses the heroic image within them, giving him access to new archetypes in battle that awaken within him.
That's how you get new archetypes.
It's up to the player to decide which followers to prioritize interacting with. Finding strategies to gain advantage, both in dungeons and outside of them, is a unique aspect of this game.
Interesting.
We hope you enjoy them. There's more to share about archetypes, but we'll save that for future announcements.
Dude, look what I was saying, dude.
I'll
Egg
just
monster.
say for now that there's a significant number of them in the game. Furthermore, your other party members can also equip any type of archetype, giving you countless options in forming your party. Take a look. I'll show you on screen. Here's a party consisting only of brawlers. Unique parties like this are fully possible, so we hope you get creative with it. Metaphor has been created with the goal of fusing the idea of a journey with interpersonal interactions, party growth, combat, and a taste of the storyline we've described today into a single game experience. So when the game releases, we hope you'll experience these aspects to the fullest.
Cool. All right, I'm gonna stop it there.
What did you think?
Yeah, that's probably enough.
Yeah, I don't need to hear him be like, I really hope you try our game. Yeah, that looks interesting. I'm not gonna lie. That looks pretty cool. I do think that if you tried to play Persona and you didn't like the game, probably this isn't gonna win you over. But most people that play Persona loved Persona. So I think that's definitely the fact that it is, because I think the only thing I'm not a big fan of with Persona is
the setting.
The setting, and it's not. Once again, I'm not saying Persona's bad, but I'm just saying I think if it would have been fantasy, high fantasy, I would have liked it more. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that makes sense. Like sometimes you just have preferences like that. Like I know this might sound crazy, but for me, like I went into Persona 5. I'd never played another Persona before, or even another Shin Megami Tensei game or anything. Right?
Yeah.
And I kind of just went into it because I saw a trailer for the game one day, and I was like, "That looks crazy looking," kind of. And so I started playing it one day, and I got obsessed with it, dude. I had freaking loved it, and this might sound nuts to some people, but Persona 5 is like one of my top JRPGs of all time. I think it's that good.
Yeah, I'm interested in that. I see that Whiskey Hoarder's talking about, have you seen the new tech for Star Citizen? The technology would change online games forever. Okay, I do see that video. Hang on a second, I'll share it with Steve. Okay, I found it. Give me a second. How long is this
technology
video? Okay, it's not too long. All right, perfect. Hang on a second. Maybe we don't need to watch the Asmongold reaction. Maybe we can just find the real one. The technology will change MMO games forever. Get it pulled up here.
Does it have birds?
Yeah, does it have birds?
If it doesn't have birds, I'm out. Like, completely out.
Oh my gosh, the Asmongold version of it has completely... I guess we'll just have to watch that. All right.
We'll change MMO.
All right. I'm going to share it with you, Steve. Let's check this out, because whatever it is, I don't know about it. Or I don't think I know.
No, I don't either.
Dude's going to change online gaming forever. All right, I just shared it. Let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, let me get pulled out here. Let's check it out, guys. Let's see what is going on. All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
This technology will change MMO games forever. What is it, a new microtransaction store?
A new microtransaction store.
Like Tesla.
It's arguable this is a tech company disguised as a game company, at least up until
guys, hey, this is Star Citizen.
now.
Star Citizen.
Getting more to the game
We've seen
part,
this
but
before.
That's a different video. Star Citizen is a conglomerate of tech systems that have taken a long time, a lot of money, and some smart individuals to put together.
Whenever they say a lot of money, they're talking about $700 million.
$700 million, dude. Almost $1 billion in this game, dude.
The entire game, with millions of entities, is always running on just a single server.
Ooh.
The most important goal has always been to change this, to split that one server into potentially dozens,
Probably a
to
good
share
idea.
the load across populated locations, and create an environment that can support hundreds in relatively close proximity.
Yeah.
But from object container streaming to entity bind culling, a 64-bit environment to persistent entity streaming, this ultimate goal of Star Citizen to actually become a large-scale MMO is built on a stack of tech, culminating in what's known as server meshing. After 7+ years of various technological efforts slowly building up the tech stack that makes this possible, after needing to put off many other developments to wait for this moment, after constantly hearing that the main thing holding this game back is server meshing, it appears it may actually be happening.
Well, as you can see on my screen, I no longer have one server connected. I have 3 servers connected to this replication layer. So what you guys see here, this is the very first version of a working server mesh.
Okay.
There are 3 servers. We assigned different zones to those servers. And we said, okay,
here we go.
You can see that
This is
even as
nobody's
as
done
they
this
transition into the other
before.
zone, seamlessly transition.
Wow, I see. Wow,
Holy
dude.
shit. So they don't have to load everything. Now I get it.
Also,
holy shit.
not just loading things, but like they can do stuff where the player doesn't exist until it's within a certain parameter of it. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
For
yeah.
example, and I shoot this. I can still shoot that purple.
What the fuck?
Entity.
That's so crazy.
The replication layer tracks
Which would give you the feeling of like
and replicates that
Like everybody's there.
everywhere.
Yeah, like everybody's there.
Server can
So
simply
it just sends the data of the XY coordinate of, like, I guess the thing going from one server to another.
Yeah.
And because tech is so fast now, it's completely seamless.
I mean, I wouldn't think
That's
technology would be able to do it
also allows
seamlessly.
for
That's
any number of
wild.
servers to crash without wiping out the current position or progress of the player. Another server will just boot back up to take its place and reconnect to the replication layer like the game was there all along.
Over the weekend, Star Citizen conducted one of the most important tech
Dude, do you think
tests
that would mean
ever.
that they wouldn't have to
Massive-scale server
ever
meshing. The server
bring
meshing
down
test
a whole
began
game
with
for
200
server
players in the
maintenance?
Stanton system and was then increased to
Yeah,
400
it could
players.
because they could
They
do
could
it.
work on the one server and just
Yeah,
have it,
and merge
the
it.
other ones take up the load.
Yeah, and then merge it in when it's
wanna
complete.
see it.
Yeah, like they could
Like
patch
seamlessly.
games on the fly. Well, from our perspective, right? The patch would
Yeah,
be
from
on
our
the fly.
perspective.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh my god.
And stuff like this, where you can literally fly through space and go right onto a planet.
Wait, did that go through
Yeah.
the
With good
server at a
graphics.
slightly
Just
different
No Man's
angle?
Sky, you can technically do that.
That is 100% hitting something there.
And
Holy
oh my
shit,
gosh, that's gonna hit something on the planet. That is
Yeah, I think
wild,
there is a
dude.
slight
That's
small
pretty
rotation.
cool. That's wild.
That's freaking wild.
Comes out.
I mean, that's pretty fucking good. I mean, there's games that they have fuck ups like this, and it's all on the same server.
Like that planet's so big, it's probably not gonna. You know what I mean?
think
But
that's the
that's still
boundary.
crazy.
So I think that's the missile going.
Yeah, like if somebody was standing down there in the path of that,
Like a
they would
random-
see it coming out of the sky.
Yeah, they see it like from way far away.
Such a, like good point. There we go. So I can't
Interesting.
target the SRV. If you move now, Petong. If I go back. Okay, he's rotating. Okay, so he's still moving. That's wild.
Oh my god.
But I can't target him because he's on a different server.
Weird.
There you go.
Weird.
Dude, look at me server hop right now. Holy crap.
What the fuck?
Dude, that's pretty freaking ridiculous. You're mining something on the planet and you get bombarded by some bored dude out in space.
Man, can you translate this to WoW? It's like phasing, but it's every player is in their own phase and also in everybody else's phase simultaneously at the same time. I think that's basically how this works. Does that help? It does. So the reason why is that I think this is clearly what their problem is. And I don't know. I haven't seen this whole demo, but like you can see right here, my camera is blocking it, so I'll just show you. So there's like the purple indicator here, the green indicator, and the red indicator. So each different indicator here is used to create a distinction between different servers.
Right.
So basically this floor is a server. So whenever one object goes from the green area to the red area, it changes servers technically, but because it's done so quickly through like some seamless transition tool, it's not really like it is happening, but it happens and it's so fast that the user doesn't even realize that it's happening.
Yeah, somebody in his chat was talking about like even if the server crashes, you would just immediately be in another server and not even know.
Right. Probably go down over time. Trans-server communication and syncing. Yeah, like all of the servers are synced with each other all the time simultaneously, and it's all in real time. This is incredible. And that's why, for example, they're moving objects across.
I can also interact with entities that are on the other side.
You see that?
So if I go on the screen zone, for example, and
they're all synced to a centralized server? Yeah. And like that's basically what's happening, right? So I guess this would be the central server, and this is the version of it that they're seeing, the users are seeing, but the central server is totally different. So like you're not even seeing the real server.
So
it's like a mirror. Yeah, exactly. You could say it could be game-changing. I think this is insane. Like I've said this before, right? Is that I don't like the idea of servers, and I think servers are a technological limitation. And I'm so fucking glad that there's a legitimate developer that somehow managed to get $700 million that agrees with me. This is great. Yes. I'm very happy about this. This is amazing. The server's incredibly different and novel tech. Yeah, difficult. This means no server crash. If yours go down, you automatically get transferred to another identical one. I'm sure there's going to be like replacement servers and things like that that happen. But yes, basically, it's cool tech, but there's no way that a company can pay the server side, sadly, at least not now. It's too asynchronous. Are you saying like pay as in terms of like expense?
Yeah, he means expense.
You're saying it's too expensive? You have to understand it. Like my understanding of programming
I don't think...
is that I can read HTML and I can read some C++. I've taken one class in programming that I got a C in.
Yeah, this is a network stack they built. And I also took a couple of
advanced classes in like flowchart management that used coding with it. So I don't really know a lot about coding. But what I do know is that things that always look better are not always more expensive on any sort of load.
Yeah, I think this is more of a genius coding.
I think it was Unreal 5.2
not like
5.3.
Crazy technology.
I mean, even just imagine
and they could seamlessly
if in Final Fantasy 14 it felt like everybody playing it was on the same server.
Yeah, exactly.
And not only was it affecting every single tree,
that actually works,
but it was also doing it at a rate
with this technology,
the entire load of the PC. So I think what's going to end up happening is that it's the same with anything, right? I mean, like, how are we going to say that this is impossible whenever a lot of us grew up playing GameCube and Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64, or regular Nintendo for that matter, or Atari? How can we say that this is impossible whenever we started on 16-bit consoles? Of course this is going to happen. It's not even a question. It's just a matter of when. This is amazing. Imagine whenever they start using AI to make these improvements or at least test them. Yeah, this is going to be crazy. I think people are really underestimating the scale of this. And like how much different games are going to be.
Yeah, and the amount of things
like 10 years
developers can do.
I feel like we are on like the cusp. I think DLSS is like it's like a precursor of
I think that like take an MMO for example.
Things are going to get really crazy.
Yeah.
It will really.
An engine as one can.
I'm trying to think of the right words to say this, but this technology would allow for there to be a world in like an MMO that truly felt like it was an alternate digital world because everyone who plays is really there rather than like, oh, I'm on this server, blah, blah, blah. You know, like anybody who plays the game could meet any other player in the game that plays that game, not just confined to one server. You know what I mean? I think that's pretty wild.
Yeah, dude. And the fact that, like, you know, typical issues with MMOs, right, where like, oh, we're going to have to make our game have zones because, you know, et cetera, because the tech we're using, et cetera. Well, now that can be pushed off onto this server network stack technology, right, or coding, to where even if you were building it in such a manner, you would still seamlessly cross over into the next zone, right? Because it could be stored on its own server, which you switch to, you know, I mean, it's almost as if it doesn't exist, almost, as far as from the zones exist only for the developer, not for the player. You know what I mean? As far as the perception of it to playing the game. That's wild. Yeah. There's so much they can do with this. Like, that is probably the future. And the other thing about that is that if they come up with this network stack, super advanced, obviously probably couldn't have done it if they wouldn't have, you know, scored so much freaking money developing this game. They probably have, like, who knows how many genius freaking coders on their team that were able to program this to work in this kind of way. They can sell this tech out to other companies, right? Once they get it, you know, working really, really, really well, other companies can buy the network stack so they can use it for their own games. And honestly, they're going to print money even faster than Star Citizen, probably.
Like, whenever virtual reality finally gets to, like, be actually really good.
Yeah.
I don't think it's there yet, personally.
It doesn't make people vomit, for one thing.
Yeah, when that technology combined with this would be wild.
Yeah. Agreed.
That could be when we finally get the first really actually awesome, like a sword art, basically.
Yeah, except for not stuck in the game.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like full dive, probably. I don't think we'll have that technology probably in our even lifetimes. But you never know.
Pretty cool. Thanks for sharing that, Whiskey Hoarder. That is really cool technology and pretty exciting. Let's move on to, I don't know. Okay, look, I don't know nothing about this game. Okay.
I do.
You do? I don't.
Yeah.
This is a new game.
You know what it is?
Tales of the Shire.
Do you know anything about it at all?
Because it's called Tales of the Shire, it has to be officially licensed for Lord of the Rings. It has to be.
It is. What it is it is a Hobbit life sim. So think Animal Crossing, but it's the Hobbits.
Does it actually look good? Does it look stupid?
It depends. If you're somebody who's into those kind of games, right?
Okay.
I think it looks pretty cool, honestly.
All right, we got some more MMO stuff, guys, but let's watch this. It's very quick.
I like those games sometimes. This might be interesting. It might be cool.
All right, ready?
But anyway, I'm ready.
3, 2, 1, go.
There are many tales of Middle-earth. Tales of courage and brave deeds in dark times. But that is not our story. For this is one of new beginnings.
Dude, you never have to leave the Shire.
I know. That's what I was thinking of when we used to do that when I watched this the first time.
We used to make Hobbit characters in EverQuest 2 and never leave the Shire. Just stayed there forever. Little halflings. It looks good for a Switch game, honestly.
Yeah, it's not only on Switch either.
Oh, second breakfast, nice. Fitting music.
Yeah. Like, I think for people, if you like Lord of the Rings and you like life sims, then this is going to be the game for you if it's actually good. If it's a good one.
Oh, somebody's birthday. Oh, Gandalf.
These are our tales of the Shire.
Yeah, it's like the Hobbit version of a Harvest Moon game, you know?
Hobbits
Now, the thing that I'm really interested in knowing about this game, which I cannot find any information on at all because I looked.
Okay.
Is there any kind of multiplayer element to it?
If there's not, they're totally missing out, dude.
I know. If there's not, I think that could be a killer for it because, like, I have a couple people at work who are really interested in this game because they're, like, really big into that game, Stardew Valley.
Right.
And they also really love The Lord of the Rings. Like, they're big fans of it. And I told them about this game, and they were like, holy crap. They were, like, really excited about it because it's, like, two things that they love, basically, rolled into one. And I was like, man, if this game had multiplayer, like, how cool would it be if, like, we could visit each other's homes? And then I was like, what they really should do in a game like this, which it probably won't have this, because for some reason none of these life sims have done this yet. I don't know if it's like too much to handle for them or something, but they need to make a game like this. Like, imagine this game and we could be in a village together.
Yeah.
So like imagine like I could like, even if you weren't on the game, I could like go over and your house would be there and everything you've done to it's still there. Like they need to start doing that in these types of games. I don't know why. I was hoping that game Palia, the MMO-ish one, was going to be like that, but I mean, it's not. It's just like you zone to your own house, so that kind of is like lame.
Yeah, if it was like there was spots for, let's say, 8 people.
Yeah.
And so you pick some friends. And
Yeah.
even if you didn't have 8, it could be like me, you, and Dave, and a couple people from the community.
And we have like a little neighborhood together within this world where there's all the NPCs in there and their houses too.
That would
that
take
would be
this.
cool.
Yeah, that would take this to a new level that I feel like it needs to go, like to progress.
It's starting like so many of these life sim games come out. I can't believe it's like, has nobody thought of that for some crazy reason?
Yeah,
like
because
that would be
they
a
got the
genius
tech
move.
to do it. They totally got the tech to do it. Especially with that
That
new
would be
tech.
the-
Like that.
That's the way to do one of these things.
Yeah, I agree. Well, interesting though. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, if it gets good reviews, I might check it out because I do like those type of games from every once in a while. So we'll see.
Yeah, Dave singing "Won't You Be My Hobbit Neighbor"? Maybe. All right. So we're running out of time because I have the Pantheon stream coming up. So what should we watch?
Me so tired.
Let's watch. I did have that joke, and we can skip that. How about we get to the MMO stuff another day? Have you seen Kingdom Come Deliverance 2? Have you seen this, Steve?
I have.
Dude, this looks good, does it not?
Yeah, it does look pretty good, I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm pretty hyped about this. Let's pull this up. It's kind of a long... No, it ain't that long. All right, let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go.
Peggy 18.
Dude, I'm pretty hyped for this because I loved the first Kingdom Come Deliverance. It was so freaking good, dude. This is a direct sequel.
Yeah.
Like right after the first one. Dude, you should play Kingdom Come Deliverance if you haven't. It's special, dude.
I know this is gonna sound crazy. I kind of really wanted to play it, and I just wish it wasn't in first person.
I wish you could do third person also.
Something about playing like a fantasy game in first person is weird to me. I don't know why. It seems like such a dumb thing to say, but
Hey, look how real this looks.
yeah, look, this looks wild, man. That's little baby Jerry down there.
Is this really the game?
Now we can
No,
finally show you.
It's not.
No,
it's
no,
not.
it's not.
I was like, wait a minute, dude. This looks crazy. Okay, they made that. That really was live action. I was like, dude, this is insane. Okay, the game still looks
That's
good.
an actual game.
The game still looks good. I was like, jeez, man. Is this based on? Is the sequel based on real events like the first one was? I wonder.
I don't know. first one's so cheap now. Maybe I should just pick it up and try to give it a shot.
Dude, it's good. I recommend, Steve, for you specifically, play it on a console.
Yeah, I will. I probably would.
I always dreamt of leaving this place. Becoming more than a peasant.
So good, dude. The story's so freaking nuts, and it's most of the main events really happen.
Adventurous life.
I'm actually surprised this game got a sequel, to be totally
Me
honest.
too, actually.
Because it didn't seem like anybody really cared about the first one.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it sold like a ton. It seemed like they put more money into it than they probably got out of it.
But this really does look freaking cool.
Congratulations, Sir Knight. You finally become a man.
Because he started out as like a freaking nobody, dude, in the first one.
Wake up.
Like,
maybe there'll be a Robin Hood DLC.
My man didn't even know how to read in the first one.
Really?
Yeah, dude.
That's wild looking, though.
Nobody will hand anything on a platter to men like you and me.
You still have a long way to go till your work is done.
A dog.
Petting dogs. Petting dogs. Oh my gosh, dude.
Too much porn. Too much porn.
Oh, merciful God. Be kind and protect us so we don't blow our arses off. Amen.
Okay, I think they're gonna just talk about it now.
Yeah, it's turning back into live action again, I can tell.
Alright, well anyway, looks fantastic. Also,
yeah, it looks cool.
That's how you make a trailer that like tells the viewer, number one, that it's got a story that's gonna be cool, but also showing a lot of in-game footage and just hype levels 5,000. I'm so excited that I never, like you were saying, I never thought we'd get a sequel to this because it just felt like,
yeah, I just never would have imagined it.
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those games where it was really stinking good, but I think when it launched, it had a lot of glitches, and if I remember right, but gameplay's like a freaking dream now. I know that.
I also wouldn't be surprised if it launched against something ridiculous either.
This makes me want to go back and play it
huge.
again. That's what this makes me. It makes me want to just play the whole first game all over again.
Dude, I gotta pick it up, dude. I see it on sale all the time, digital for like $5.
Yeah, hang in there because the combat at first feels a little wonky, but not like real bad. But like you have to actually like move block the direction of the attacks and stuff.
Yeah.
And when I first played it, I was like, ugh, I don't like its combat. But the story was so good that I just had to see what happened next. And before long, I actually got completely acclimated to the combat, and it was actually super fun. I ended up really liking it. But yeah, man, this is the kind of game where it's just like good open world feels, but not like open world boring. Like it does keep you in certain segments. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know how else to describe it, but like it feels open world, but really you're contained to specific segments of that world at a time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I've played other games like that for sure, so I definitely get what you're saying.
But there's moments where you really just feel the freedom of like, oh my gosh, you can go do this or I can go do that, or you can like ditch things like, oh, I am not joining, like without spoiling anything, there'll be like a little army gonna march on a situation and like burn a village down or whatever, and like you can be like, I am not joining those guys on that, and you can just go do something else and they will still go do the thing with or without you. Interesting. It's cool, man. Good game. Really excited that they're making a sequel, especially with better tech, because that game came out like PS4 days. So I think they'll be able to pull off some more cooler stuff. In my memory, this is exactly what the first one looked like, but I could be wrong. I haven't played it in a while. Anyway, guys, that's going to be the show today because I do have to hop on. If you guys want some more Nathan Napalm, I will be going live over on Static Group Live on both Twitch and YouTube just here in a few moments. That show will go live here at 11 p.m. Central, midnight Eastern. We'll be playing some Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. These boys have been playing since I've been gone, so I'm way under level of them. So we'll see how that goes. But so we'll be doing some Pantheon Rise of the Fallen. There'll be some more streaming throughout the week. And I will see you guys later. It's good to be back and streaming. And thanks, Steve, for the great nerd news night. And there was some other stuff.
We had a lot
to
catch up on there.
Yeah, we had too much. Actually, we had to kick some stuff off. We'll have to kick over to the next week if that news is still relevant at that time. But thanks, everybody, for coming out. Appreciate everybody. Say goodbye, Steve.
See you guys. Thanks for tuning in.